What's up, everybody? We're back. It has been a long week. Lots has been going on. Oh, we got to switch this. I can't have you on the wrong side. Lots has been going on. I know. My little OCDs.
Old habits.
Lots has been going on. It was a banger week for Star Wars. It feels like there's a lot of news. There's just a lot of news. Really. There's Mando season 3 is in full effect, and so far it's been pretty fiery. I'm not gonna lie, it's been fire central.
I've been feeling it, inching closer and closer to our theories too. Some of them.
Yeah, I mean, look, I'm gonna be honest. I haven't been doing the late nights because things have been out of control with the real world. The real world has taken up a lot of my time. So I haven't been able to get on stream as much as I want to. I haven't been able to talk about as much as I want to. But I'm not going to lie. I was sitting in front of my TV last week, jumping up and down. Literally, jumping up and down like I just won the lottery. Like, literally. I mean, I was like holding the magic ticket. I'm like,
yep,
man, this is great. And I'm holding the ticket and I'm jumping up and down like a wild man because I was right. That's all I got to say.
We're there.
If y'all were ever doubting my premonition skills, sit down, right? I'm on it. I'm putting the real shit out there while all the rest of these people are knocking me, calling me a troll, saying I'm a shill. I don't know Star Wars.
Well, I mean,
how about
that second part, though?
I mean, yeah, the second part's legit. I mean, I'm not a troll, though. I'm not a troll.
But we troll a little.
Shill. I'm a shill.
We shill.
I'm not a troll.
Troll,
right? I mean, I do too much.
Maybe I can speak for myself.
Troll, right?
I'm a little bit of a troll.
I try not to troll. I mean, if I'm trolling, it's on purpose. Like, I troll X-Wing like a motherfucker, right?
Bro, I think this other person that we're about to bring in will agree that trolling is good for the heart,
right, bro? He's sitting back there with his green screen, going all crazy in the backstage. I troll X-Wing like a motherfucker because
that's different. I mean, when you know somebody, but like,
I mean, look, initially that's what was expected of me, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, everybody thinks you're mean, right? And okay, so I'm mean. I'm a troll.
Everybody has a line.
Everybody's got a line. Speaking of guys that got a line, what up, my guy? How's it going?
What the fuck?
People crossed that line last week.
So I mean, I was right.
Oh my god,
I was right. I mean, Mythosaur in the living waters. I mean, shit. The only thing that didn't happen was lighting the Darksaber in the living waters, right? I mean, minus that, I was pretty right on. Oh my god, everybody's leaving. That's it. But I mean, really, it was I'm pretty on point.
Oh, I got some crazy theories or things I would like to see.
We're gonna hide Steve until he gets his shit together. Yeah, I mean, look, I've been saying it since season 1, right? As soon as we saw the Darksaber, that we were gonna see a Mythosaur, right? I mean, it's been on the wall for me the whole time.
Dude, he was massive.
Massive, right?
Massive. Oh my god, dude. We're not talking Rancor. We're talking we're
not even
Rancors.
Talking full-grown Rancor, right? Like, we're talking that thing was massive, and nobody's gonna believe her, bro. Yeah. Nobody's gonna believe her.
Yep.
They're gonna be like, "There's no Mythosaur on Mandalore." Also,
Din was unconscious, so she's literally the only one.
Literally, she's gonna tell. Here, we'll get into thoughts and theories later, but really, for me, the Mythosaur was what I had been seeing coming, just based on how the armor was talking about the Mythosaur. Right, as soon as the armor mentions the Mythosaur, I'm like, oh, it's coming, it's coming. And what I love more is that all we saw was an eyeball. Yeah, we saw a horn, and we'll go through that. Okay, is he back? Let's see how he's doing.
What up?
Thumbs up. Okay, you're there. I mean, all we saw was an eyeball and a horn, and she was like this big compared to that. She looked like a Lego
Yup.
compared to that mythosaur, right? Like she was tiny.
Facts.
Yeah, I mean this shit is out of control, man. I'm looking forward to seeing, because what would be an interesting, and like I said, I don't want to get into it too early, but for me, what could be the most interesting piece of the mythosaur is that could the mythosaur break all of the glass on the planet and bring the planet back to life, right? In so
like
to speak.
that.
Right? Because the mythosaur is so gigantic, it's going to be like sand on his feet, right? It's not going to feel like anything, and he's so massive that I could see him busting out of the glass from under the mines, kind of like, if you will, a Harry Potter moment with the dragon at Gringotts, right? Climbing out of the mines, and then you see like his tail shatter a bunch of glass across, and it brings back the Earth's, the Mandalorian ground soil, so to speak. I feel like that thing is so big, and what an interesting way to bring Mandalore back to life, right?
I was thinking
I
that too.
agree.
Like,
That would be crazy.
how are you going to
Go for
herald
it.
a new era on that planet? I think they need to find a new, unfortunately. But I also think there's potential to resurrect the city that was underneath. I know it kind of looks like shit now, but depending
it
on
wasn't
the numbers, yeah, I'm saying depending on the numbers that they eventually get,
I
I
mean,
think anything's possible 10,
the fact
20
that
years
you
from now.
could walk
Droid.
right into the mine or into the living waters, right? The fact that that bridge was still intact.
Yeah.
There's a lot there. I personally enjoyed Bo-Katan's reunion with Mandalore here. You could tell she
Me
hasn't
too.
been back since it was taken from them. She's been living in her castle on her planet in the system, and it seems like she hasn't been back. And you can see when she talks about it how personal it is to her. My family ruled this bitch, right? My family used to run this whole thing, right? I mean, it's very sentimental to her. It's very awesome to see. Look, if anybody got it right, her character is perfect. From Clone Wars to Rebels to this, the transition from animation to live action has been just powerful.
Agreed.
Especially
She's owning
having
that
Katie. Yeah, especially having Katie continue to play her too, right? Like, it just adds
yeah.
to the impact
Oh yeah,
of
I
how
mean
well they've done her.
the voice and everything. And this is going to be the unfortunate part for Thrawn fans is that potentially we may not get the voice actor to play the live action, which I think is honestly, I think that dude's rope-a-doping us.
Me too.
I think he's on Twitter going, they never said nothing. They never came to me. Really, he's on set.
No,
So-
yeah, he's playing Thrawn.
Yeah, that's
Come
what
on, like that's
yeah.
the master.
Okay, so I did take a picture for tonight's Bad Batch, but we're gonna wait till Mafia gets here to go into that because
he
saved
called
it-
up Andrew Garfield and was like, "Bro, how'd you do it? How'd you lie for like 4 years? I need some
look,
tips."
they did that to
And
Obi-Wan.
Obi-Wan.
Could have called Hamill. Could have been like,
Call him
"Yo,
Obi-Wan, Ewan McGregor.
Mark, how do you keep this secret? I mean, it's so hard, right? I mean, I think his Twitter's rope-a-doping the shit out of us, or
Smart.
the
It would be
interview line,
smart.
because Disney has a very creative way of keeping secrets that Marvel doesn't. And they're
Yeah.
very good at playing the PR game with those people. So like Mark Hamill knew, Favreau knew, these guys knew for a year and didn't say nothing. Nothing. And everybody got interviewed about that show. Right?
Mhm.
And they keep a real tight ship over there, man. There's not a lot of leaks. You may get a plot leak, you may get an actor leak, but the big stuff, man, they hold that stuff to the heart. They do not let nobody
It's
get
gonna
at
be
the good shit.
a tough one to swallow for fans if he's not playing him?
They got to get somebody good.
Yeah.
It's got to be a
Do you
close
think
resemblance.
you'll ever see him do the voice dubbing? Where
No.
like they get a body and then the voice is his voice?
The great thing about Thrawn at this point is we don't know what's happened to him. We don't know what traveling with the Purgle through hyperspace has done to his body. We don't know what that could have done to his voice, right? There's a lot of things.
Age him up or something, yeah.
Cut him up, man. Maybe a throat
Yeah.
cut, give it some reasoning why he doesn't sound the same, right? For me, they have to, it's got to look the part. What they did with the Grand Inquisitor, look, everybody knows I like Kenobi. Everybody knows I think that show is going to age so much better than it did on the premiere. That's where they fucked up. That's where they messed up the most for me in Kenobi. Forget all the rest of the glitz and glamour. For me, the technology was there to make the Grand Inquisitor look like that. George Lucas did it in the prequels. We've seen that race before. It should not have been a difficult play. That's something they cheaped out on, and I feel like if they were smart, the way that they remastered the original trilogy, adding Boba, walking past the Falcon, adding Jabba the Hutt, Han having a conversation, that would be a good artistic thing to say, we didn't do that right. Here's how it should have looked, right? We understand that we made mistakes and mistakes were made, but we're about it. We hear you. Here's here's how it should have been, right? I don't know that Disney's really great at saying that kind of stuff, not publicly, but I feel like for me, Thrawn's got to be balls on accurate.
Yeah,
right.
I agree.
I mean, the face has got
it. Showed that with the Inquisitor. If an Inquisitor can't get away with that shit, bro, Thrawn ain't getting away with it.
No, I mean you can't paint somebody blue and call him Thrawn, right? I mean, just grab one of the cast members from Avatar and bring him over, and we're done. Right? You got to do the eyes right. You got to do the hair right. You got to do him right. Right? I mean, we don't know we don't know the adventures that him and Ezra were on. We don't know how far the Purgle took them. We don't know a lot, but for me, that's one thing that they have to do really well, is they have to do Thrawn right in live action, right? Katie was such a perfect, and for that matter, maybe even Rosario, were great animation to live action characters. You can't translations, perfect. Yes, you can't change that now, right? If you're 2 for 3, you got to come out of the gate with this one, because this character is going to hold a lot of weight, right? Even if you didn't watch Rebels, people aren't going to know. The masses aren't going to know how right or wrong it is, right? Much like a lot of people didn't watch Rebels, didn't know who the Grand Inquisitor was, so the normies were like, "Cool, it's just a guy," while we were all splitting hairs, right? So, it's got to be for me. It's got to be right with Thrawn.
Bro, we're talking about this now, and I'm just thinking about the amount of weight that the Ezra actor is gonna have to carry, bro.
Oh my god, dude.
Oh my god. That poor kid, whoever the hell he is. Oh man.
Well, I mean, look, that show is a good 6 months away. Easy. We're here for Mando, and yet last week I literally was jumping up and down with my arm in the air, fist pumping, saying I was right. Right? Literally. I'm like, I hurt myself. I'm old. I hurt my foot. I was jumping up and down so much because I was right. It doesn't happen very often. So I'm excited about the Mythosaur. I'm excited about this episode. This episode is 56 minutes long from what I'm hearing. This is an hour-long episode, man. This episode is going to be a fire.
Do we have titles?
Fire? Oh yeah. For the episodes?
I didn't see a title.
I don't know if there's actual confirmed titles. I will say there was leaked titles a while ago, or someone posted out titles, and it seems like they were in the wrong order, but they might have been the right titles. I think Apostate might have been one of them, but it was further down the line and not the first episode. You know what I mean?
Okay. So no clues, basically.
There could be, but I don't have any at the moment.
And there have been some there have been some not spoilers. I don't want to say spoilers, but there have been some conversations being had across the metaverse about who we're going to see tonight, what we're going to see tonight. There's pictures of Din, Bo, and the Pram on a beach, right? That's obviously the Armorer's Covert, right? That's where we saw the young man taking the creed. And, you know, what I find fascinating is, did Bo-Katan take the same creed, right? Did she swear the same creed during her ceremonial stuff? Because, you know, she was saying it was ceremonial. It was for the people. They didn't really believe, right? So she's never been a believer in the creed. Do you think seeing the Mythosaur changes her perspective on the creed? Because before she was like, it's all theater, right? That's exactly what she said. It's all theater. She's like, mythosaurs don't exist. I've been here my whole life. I've never seen a mythosaur. I was in the living waters. There's no mythosaur. This is BS, right?
I guess to your point, that it would make sense that maybe she would start to believe a little more. And I don't know if it's exactly the mythosaur or just the fact that Din Djarin was kind of a true believer in his own right, and him going in and saying the words as he believed what he was saying, going into the water, and then having the mythosaur appear at that point. I think all of it kind of together is why she might end up believing, to your point. And what up, Green Bear?
Oh, no, you're muted. Hold
on.
No
audio.
You're muted. There. How about now? You got you now?
Yeah, working?
Yeah.
All right. Thought it was me.
What's up, dude?
What's going on here? I don't know why I just interrupted.
We meet again.
We
we were all just talking about, like, in textbooks when they measured dinosaurs, how many school buses is the mythosaur?
Oh, dude, he was huge.
That's a great question. Yeah,
I was just trying to throw him off.
Oh, we got school buses. Or?
This is gonna kill me.
No, not short buses. Let's go with like standard yellow school bus.
100.
I'm gonna say like
100.
What?
100.
Okay.
Really?
Look how small she was. She was even the size of his eye.
Yeah.
She was like this big.
Yeah.
Dude. She wasn't even the size of his eye.
I don't know, man.
I will say, I think in Legends,
you
I
saw
go
like here. We're gonna pull it up.
Upper 70s, low 80s for me. Dude, I don't know if I can go.
I could go
100 school buses.
I think in Legends they say it's like the size of cities.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I was saying his tail he could break out and break all the glass that's covering Mandalore's surface, right? I mean,
so we're not talking Brontosaurus. We're talking like
it's a dinosaur, dude. It's a
but are we talking
dinosaur?
But are we talking a couple Brontosauruses size-wise? Like, what do you?
I guess we'll
give
see.
Me a size, bro.
I'm thinking like twice the size, like 2 or 3 times the size of a T-Rex, dude.
Okay.
Like,
think
now
about now I can visualize
how tiny she was compared to him. Right? I'm gonna pull it up right now because he was massive, dude.
He was pretty damn big.
Like, Chat, you have to give us a unit of measurement, and it can't be a standard unit. You have to put the number in chat.
I'm already there.
You pick the unit of measurement.
Probably 100.
No metric system. We don't mess with that.
Metric system. Metric system.
100 Din Djarin.
You want to see me confused?
Right, you know, like 50,000 whiskeys or something. I don't know.
Bourbon tonight, actually.
All right.
There you go. They're using the emojis to quantify.
Here it is. All right.
100K pizza slices.
Right. They go for a little ride.
I don't think we see a tail.
We don't see a tail, but we see his face.
We see like a head and horns.
We see his eyeball.
Right.
Yeah, you know, it could just be a little tree trunk.
This is all rock, right? This is all rock. That's all rock. And she's like, okay, we're cruising. Look at his horn. Oh, I guess you're right. Look at his horn. Look at his teeth.
She's probably a couple.
She's like, oh, look at that girth. I mean, what?
look at his teeth, dude. And that's at the bottom of his face. There's still a whole nother top of his face.
A whole nother top.
Keep going.
Another side for sure.
Look
right there. Look.
The size
They're
of a
like.
Listen.
It's a little bigger than a T-Rex. It's like 2 T-Rexes. Maybe
I gotta change my answer.
I'm saying still 100 bus lanes.
Oh, bus lanes.
That's a lot of buses, man.
1, 2. I mean, dude, his face is
It's
like
possible.
20 of
It's
them.
pretty. He's big, dude. He's big.
That's awesome.
Mhm.
Look, I'm just excited because I was right. I'm never right.
Wait. The heater's kicking in. Do you guys hear it? It's a test.
A little bit.
Not bad.
Not as much
bad before.
anymore.
I love how
Turn the
he's just
gain all the way down.
look at that shit. I love how he's just eyeballing her too. That's not even supposed to be.
Yeah, and then he just kind of dips.
Do you think he dips? Like, I'm wondering, is he gonna pop back up at the start of this next episode? Kind of.
No, I don't think he'll come back until they come back to Mandalore. Right? I
So
think
they're just gonna leave it be and talk. Are they gonna talk about it at all this episode? Or
yeah, I think this is where they go meet the armor. This is what I was saying before.
Okay.
Before Green Bear got here is that I think they're going to leave immediately. Right? He did his thing. He went in the waters. They can't go down and find him. Right? I mean, they're not going to go screw with him. He's huge. Right? Grogu's not going to be able to like, got me.
He might be able to.
No.
Oh my god, what is that
I like
voice
your
remind me?
theory.
I did do
I
a
like
thing.
your theory
you guys,
that,
you guys want to see a thing real quick? I did a thing.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
I did a
Oh,
thing.
what thing? What'd you do?
Wow.
I did a thing.
Oh, yeah,
Oh,
the
that's
thing you
sick.
did. Yeah.
That's so sick.
But
Oh, that's so sick.
It's got the creed on the back.
I did a thing.
This is
That's
the
cool.
way. That's so friggin' cool.
And I didn't leave out
Our business.
I didn't even leave out the ladies. We got some ladies too.
Oh yeah, that's actually
Nice.
friggin' badass.
Yep, I just put them up in the store today. I don't put anything in the merch store unless I preview it, unless I have it in my hands. I don't trust manufacturers. So
It's a good call. Make sure it's in your hand first.
You got to make sure you got it first, man, because sometimes it comes out shitty. I really dig it. I got to thank Strike. Strike always does all my artwork. So he went through like 4 different colors and styles for me on this one. I was going to make him gold, but I couldn't get the gold writing to match the gold outline. So I was like, we'll just make it white. Screw it. But they're on the store. They're on the merch shop. I dig it, man. I think this season of Mandalorian is really, the viewership they said wasn't great. Right. This is what I'm hearing all over everybody's like, here, I'm going to do it again.
Star Wars is so over, guys. It's just, oh my god, it's so over.
Right? I mean, look, I'm happy. I'm digging it. This season's fire. Watching Bo-Katan take the Darksaber, play some, Benihana on a robot, and then give it back to home dude. Like, I love the writing in this season because it's holding so true to her perspective on this, right? Like, for instance, she knows she can't be given the Darksaber. She knows she can't just pick it up off the floor if somebody else de-armed him and it's hers, right? She knows she has to win it in combat. So I love the fact that she grabs the Darksaber, goes into old school fighting mode. I love that they did the gauntlet shield, right? For me, the gauntlet shield was like so old school, Rebels, Clone Wars, any Mandalorian fight, you see that come out. I dug the shit out of it. And then she grabs the Darksaber and she just has no problem with it. This is what I love. She had that saber for X amount of time. In that time, she obviously mastered it, right? Because even Sabine is like, man, this thing is heavy. And Bo just takes this Darksaber up and has no weight to it. When Din swings it, it's like he's swinging a sledgehammer. Right, all the weights on the end. So even this season, we see, and I'm going to show you the differences. Like we're gonna go into it because I feel like this stuff is a really big deal.
It could be for sure.
And it just the way that he perceives it, right? Because he was watching her. Okay, so here they come. Right, I'm gonna bring this back in the home.
And Din doesn't have the shield, right?
I don't know if he does. I don't think
I've never
that's part
seen
of
him
his
use
arsenal. I don't think it's part
No,
of his
he
arsenal.
doesn't have it.
I think gauntlets are very personal, much like armor, and so I don't.
Well, I think it would be cool
think
if it is an older piece
I
of
think it is an older
tech,
piece of technology.
and it got lost somehow during the purge, and so anyone who's a foundling or a new Mandalorian doesn't have
Okay,
that.
so even when he first takes out the blade, you can see the weight, right? Oh, lie, getting your butt kicked, right? But you can see even when he it's got like weight to it. He does, and then you see how heavy it is.
Right, he's fighting the blade like I'm fighting this stupid mic stand right now.
Right, but I mean, look, everything, like his feet come off the ground, right? Everything is over, like it's like a sledgehammer.
Yep, that's what I was saying.
And then you go to her, and it's just
Smooth.
it's magic, dude.
One-handed.
One-handed, dude. Like this is my favorite, where she goes under him and just starts chopping limbs.
Boom.
There's no weight, right? There's no weight to it at all.
Yep.
Even when she first puts her hands on it, right? Even when she first picks it up, right? She's like, oh, it's nothing. Parry, stab. Like, there's no weight to it at all. And it just goes to show that she is so familiar with this blade, right? She's obviously worked with it, become very, very focused with it, and has a connection with it, right? Even though she was only given it, right? She didn't win it. So it goes to show it doesn't matter. The crystal doesn't necessarily.
I think it's more an internal conflict.
Yes.
Is what it seems to be.
Yes.
And I think Din Djarin's internal conflict with the saber is the fact that he doesn't really want to rule, and also he might have just maybe thought he wasn't worthy. As someone that wasn't born on Mandalore and had taken off his helmet and needed to repent for it. In the time that we saw him with the Darksaber, there was never really that much of a moment where he hadn't taken off the helmet. Like literally he gets the Darksaber and then takes off his helmet and shows his face to Grogu. Right. And from that point on, the only time we see him with the Darksaber,
because he showed his face to the Imperial computer.
True.
Right. So even before that, he felt like he was an apostate. He felt like he wasn't worthy. But he is the Aragon, right? He is the reluctant king. He doesn't want to lead. Those are the true markers of the best leaders. The best leaders don't want to lead, right? They're reluctant to lead. And it's the people that want to lead, like Bo and like some of these other people, aren't the leaders that you should be following. So for me, this is, I think, like you said, it's a personal conflict. Almost, like all Kyber Crystal. I
think Sabine goes through something similar too in Star Wars Rebels, where she's kind of having a conflict with the blade, fighting against it as Din Djarin is. And in that, she kind of gets over it by admitting that she kind of feels like she's let down her family or the Mandalorian people and created this like super weapon.
She doesn't feel worthy
kind of thing.
I think that's
help that she had a Jedi to train her.
Well, yeah.
Well, I mean, but even still, I mean, look, the part that I enjoy the most is that it's just the conflict within is what it's about. It's not about who should be leading. It's not about this or that. It's about the conflict within. And so Sabine's conflict is that, her family hates her, and, her family disowned her, and she's a traitor to her own people. These are her demons, right? Bo's demons are that she lost her planet for her people, right? Her issues aren't about her self-confidence as a warrior or as anything. She's confident in herself. She just lost, right? She lost. And is there what?
I don't know. I'm always reaching for the stars with these theories, but I think it would be a cool turn of fate if Din Djarin somehow was a descendant of a Mandalorian who was in line, bloodline or otherwise, and like, so he really is the Return of the King. Somehow they could stitch that into like an older chain code armor he finds that compares to his parents.
for the Din Bridger. So I mean, if you guys are reaching
Yeah.
for the Din Bridger, there's no reach no further, right? I mean, you guys are reaching already. So
Yeah.
I don't think it's too much of a reach to say that kind of stuff. Now, oh, here we got another one to do. Where is he? Where is he?
Oh, he's gone.
He gone.
But yeah, I mean, look, it's definitely oh, he was here. There he is. Uh-oh.
Hello there.
He said, "Or so you thought."
So you foolish humans. What up, Dan?
God damn this.
What's up, man? How y'all doing?
You guys. Dude, eye lines, bro. Eye lines drive me crazy. Eye lines drive me crazy. There we go. That's better.
What's going on?
What up, Doe? How you living?
Shit, man. I could have been here earlier, but I was on my boy's IG live. My bad.
Oh, don't worry about it, dude. We're here for it. You do you. So chat, what's cracking? Dan's here, so now the party can really get started. The only one we're missing is Matt. I don't know if he's going to grace us with his presence tonight. He's been busy. He got sucked into Hogwarts, dude. Once you get sucked into Hogwarts, all bets are off.
It's a wrap.
It's a wrap, dude. I was in it for days. Honestly, I didn't stream. I didn't do nothing for days because I was stuck at Hogwarts. So who knows? But what's up, Dan? What do you think of the season so far?
Oh, dude, it's lit. I'm hella excited for tonight, so we can get some damn answers on everything. Din's parentage, Bo getting the throne, Grogu, Gif, Moff, Gideon, all that shit. Just give us answers. I'm tired of speculating. I just want to know. I can't take it no more.
Oh yeah, I mean, I agree, man. But I think that. So, what do y'all think about Grogu kicking ass and taking names by himself? Like,
you guys watching me get my ass kicked by this mic stand right now.
But that's been fun for us. Shiva's been dying over here. He's been laughing his face off. I love it. But I mean,
I think it'd be cool if the Mythosaur does follow them to the surface, and both of them are so winded they can't respond to it, and then Grogu lights it up.
It's poetry,
He's holding it over his head to it to like ward it off. I think that'd be.
What did old Georgie used to say? Star Wars is poetry. It rhymes. I mean, how many times have we seen Grogu use beast control or the Force to help Din Djarin defeat the Mudhorn or put the Rancor to sleep, as I famously like to say. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I would love if Grogu. He did. Broke your internet there for a second.
All he did was he walked up and he's like, "Hey, we both need a nap. I've been on I got kicked out of school. I got expelled from school for making the wrong decision. You're grumpy. I'm grumpy. Let's take a nap."
This heat's ridiculous. You're being a real bitch right now.
You're being a real dick
I'm
right
just
now.
saying.
All right, I'm taking a nap and you're coming with me.
I'm just
Put
saying.
a Rancor to sleep. What are we talking about?
I will put you to sleep.
What are we even talking about? You put a Rancor to sleep.
It's not going away anytime soon.
Oh no. She
never let it die.
It's probably one of the funniest things I've seen all 2023.
What's
Come
funny
on,
is,
man. Maybe he's gonna put a Mythosaur to sleep. You know what I mean? Like,
I don't think I made the deadline. There's a contest with Opus that Opus is having right now for like funny, awesome moments. This mic stand might become one. I might submit this one too. But
I can't get it to go, man.
Steve going on a rant last week was literally like perfect for their contest. But
so now it looks good, right? But I can't see anything. It's in my face. I hate this stupid thing.
we're gonna fix that shit. I can't take that anymore. We're gonna fix it. Just get in the Discord, send me an address. I can't take it. Much weight. It pains me to watch you guys suffer.
Oh yeah.
I think I got it. It's like slinking down now.
Obsession gonna get you right. Oh yeah.
Dude, drives me crazy.
what's your gain at, dude? Maybe mine's high now too, because I was trying to reach you. But
I put it all the way down. Like I'm just not trying. Bill burner going off in the middle of the stream tonight.
Here's the thing. Also, you can lower them in Opus. So if you feel you're a little hot, you can go to your picture and right above the mic, there's a level right there. So, cool. So you can.
You see how this is just gradually falling down. Like I fucking hate this.
Yeah, send me an address, my guy. I got an arm here for you. Literally on the floor, sitting here doing nothing. You can take it. But yeah, look,
Normally I'd be like, oh no, I know you're gonna do it anyway. I'm just gonna say,
I'm gonna
yeah,
do it
I'll
anyway.
take
So just send me that. When do we get?
I was just saw that. We got to do it. We got to do
We
it.
got to do it. But yeah, man, look, this season is definitely. If you didn't watch the animated stuff, you don't know who Bo is, right? Number one.
2 seconds away from rolling with this.
Oh, do it, girl. Go old school. If you don't watch the animated stuff, you don't really have a lot of info on Bo. So really, the stuff we've seen in Mandalorian.
I'll say it. You're uneducated.
You're
Bro, like literally, I'm not
Shots
trying to
fired,
be a
man.
dickhead, but the biggest, I can't have debates with people who don't read the comics, don't watch the show. I just can't. I'm talking about shit that they have no idea about. I'm sorry.
Am I back, Linda?
you're back.
Am I a
Linda.
dick for that?
Oh, welcome
Sure,
back.
whatever. I'll take that one.
I don't
I'll
think
take
you
it
are,
right here.
dude. Because
Right on the chest.
The stuff's been around for a minute. I mean, when did Mandalorian first come out? Like,
Well, even further
2020?
still, if you don't want to watch 150 hours of animation, do some
Bro, there's a
background.
20-minute clip on YouTube.
That's
You
what I'm
got
saying.
it already.
Do a background on your doing some research on YouTube, right? Go to StarWars.com, dude. They got
Exactly,
little.
Stanley's.
They got
I'll
some.
make a Mandalorian history video just for the people that need to catch up. You know what
Well,
I
look,
mean?
dude,
Like,
I learned something new today, right? I learned something new today about Rex. I love Rex. Rex is one of my
Mhm.
favorite characters in Star Wars. I learned something new about Rex today, and I'm like, and then I started watching, and I was like, oh shit, he totally did that, right? So
Mhm.
like, we learn something new all the time based on other people's information, right? I learned today that Rex's armor is a he
Mix.
cut his stage 1 armor, his phase 1 armor, and put phase 2 armor and welded that shit together.
Oh shoot, you can't even see it on the
No,
green
not on
screen,
the
but I
green
was gonna. He literally takes phase 1 and phase 2 stuff and molds it together using
Like
welding.
his
Yeah.
chest plate is like cut in half and there's weld marks. Like I never even saw it before,
Mhm.
right? I
Mhm.
knew his armor was different than everybody, but I'm like, oh, it's just battle scarred, right? Maybe a droid tried to cut him up, right? Whatever. But I never put those two together until today. And I'm watching somebody's shit and I'm like, yo. Yeah.
That stuff is all weld marks,
Yeah,
and
dude.
it's all on the inside. It's how he literally gets the helmet to look the way it does,
Like,
which
it's
is the
totally
most unique one.
Right. And so for me, I'm like, number one, why hasn't Star Wars done a Rex helmet? Right? That's the most
Facts.
unique. Like, why do I have to have you make me one of those? Instead of getting one of those on the back shelf, you know what I mean? Like, that's some bullshit. But a lot of people that aren't doing their homework are like, who is this character, right? She's badass. Well, go back and watch some shit. She was, and the funny thing is, Katie did an awesome interview where she was talking specifically about Bo's age in this season of Mandalorian. And that when we first get introduced to her in the Clone Wars, she was like 20. She was almost a teenager, right?
Yeah.
She was still young. And so that shows when you go back and watch, you're like, oh, she was the little sister. She was, maybe a little overzealous, maybe a little ambitious, maybe a little jealous that her sister was running the show. But ultimately, she was a young kid. Then we see her in Rebels. She's a little older, a little wiser, and she becomes the leader of Mandalore by blood, really, because she's one of the old families. But here we see her that she's been through the ringer,
Yeah.
right? Like, she has been through it, and it shows. She's angry. She's pissed off. She's frustrated with the rest of her Mandalorians, right? The fact that she didn't come back with a Darksaber and all of her homies left, she's mad, right? She feels like her people should be better than this. And that's why she's literally telling Din, go lead them. Wave your little stick around and they'll follow you anywhere, right? She's annoyed by her own people right now.
Yeah, she's telling Grogu and I don't know if it was Din specifically that she said it to, but that they need to unite, kind of thing. Like they're so divided, and I heard this recently. I loved it. It was the dark saber doesn't really bring the Mandalorians together historically. Like the only time it really did was when Tar Vizsla, the dude that was a Force, like a Jedi Mandalorian who created the saber, he united the clans and became the Mandalore. But ever since, it's been kind of this object to grab for power, and it makes everybody jealous and creates all these Mandalorian civil wars that have been going on for millennia, probably. You know what I mean? And now we're at this point where Bo-Katan's just like, screw that, dude. Like, I still think that at the end of the season, Bo-Katan's gonna fall into the old Mandalorian ways and probably stab Din in the back, or
Well,
do some
my
shady stuff.
theory. You know my theory. At the end of this, everybody's celebrating, and she takes her vibroblade out and guts him.
Yes.
Right, right in the side of the armor, straight up, takes a saber out of his hands, and basically, you never should have trusted me.
She's only saving him so she can kill him herself.
That's it. Look, she can't take the dark saber if he's dead. She can't take it by Creed. Look. Well, you missed this earlier, Dan, because you weren't here yet. But like, here's the thing that I enjoyed the most. We see Din, the I don't know, what do we want to call him? The beetle bug,
Sure,
beetle monster.
I forget what they call
thing is.
They called him something on StarWars.com. It wasn't like a name though.
Anyway, the
Spider Grievous knockoff.
Yeah, right. The Grievous wannabe, right? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So Grievous's kid, snatches up Din and he tosses his weapons. And when Bo gets there, she shoots the stuff that's killing him, and then she's like, "Oh, Darksaber." She snatches it up, bang, 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 has some sushi with Grievous's kid, goes at it again, using it effortlessly. But the next scene, we see Din putting it on. Right? He's picking up his weapons. He's putting all this stuff on. She knows by Creed that she cannot take it if she doesn't win it in combat. Not, oh, it was on the floor, I picked it up. Nah, she knows by Creed, if she takes that saber without whooping that ass, it doesn't mean anything. And so when word gets back, because I don't remember the name of Sasha Banks's character, but
Kafka Reeves.
Thank you. When they go back to the rest of the Mandalorians, she tells them all what happened. That's why they left, because they find out that another Mandalorian took the Darksaber and that he tried to give it to her and she couldn't take it, right? Because she knows I have to give it back to him because I have to take it from him. And to Mafia's point, if he's dead, how does she win it in front of others? You know what I mean? She can't. She can just say, "Well, he was dead. I took it." Well, that doesn't count.
She can let Din.
Mom's favorite. The second off. Did I make that?
No, I got you.
Your gain's low now.
I got you. Go ahead.
Don't change anything. He's got you.
Now bring it up a little bit.
So wait, what?
You're good. Go ahead.
I'm good.
Yeah.
There you go.
I said first off, the name's your mom's favorite. Second off, did I make that point?
Yeah.
I did. All right, just making sure.
I might have gotten lost when you were messing with your mic the whole time, but
I'm kind of lost now. This whole ordeal. I just fought a rancor.
And she can let Din keep the Darksaber. She's got the Mythosaur. When everybody sees her riding that thing, riding it, that'll be like, well, what can you say, bitches? Like, shit, I got my own Mythosaur now. Like, fuck y'all. You either ride with me or y'all gonna die. Like, what's up? You know what I'm saying?
All right, here's my big theory. Off of all of your guys' ramblings, Bo-Katan is the only one who knows the true lineage of it. We actually don't know how Moff Gideon got it. Exactly. We don't know if Moff Gideon beat anybody rightfully in combat. I'm gonna go out on a limb and say that is not what happened, and he just found that shit. So Din is a false owner of the saber. Bo-Katan knows this. That's why she's nonchalantly, go wave it around. They'll follow anybody with it, because she knows that everybody knows the lineage of it is not rightfully Moff Gideon's. He didn't win that in combat.
I mean, technically that saber doesn't belong to anybody because Sabine found it in Maul's hideout. So really,
everybody knows that.
technically,
If we know that, all the Mandos know that.
The Vizslas that stole it from the Jedi Temple didn't beat anybody in combat. Like, what are we talking about here?
Right.
It doesn't
We're
say
talking about who they.
the guy that beat the
What
guy.
we're actually
before.
talking about is who they last actually followed.
But here's the
Like, who
thing:
they
if
actually followed last.
Din
Maul would have been the last one that they
Maul would have
followed,
been
and
the last.
Palpatine beat him. So Palpatine's the owner of the dark side.
Well, who they're
Well, yeah,
following is what I'm saying, or who they're willing to follow.
But even
Then
still,
shit,
like right
fucking-
now, it's more about who.
If we're going by
it's not
that
about-
logic, then Vader should have the fucking saber because he killed Palpatine in 6.
You guys just took my logic and went like,
I mean,
way
technically,
over
by
there
that
with it.
logic, Luke is
I
the
don't
owner
know
of the
where
dark
you're
saber
going.
because he beat
Maybe
Vader's
someone in
ass.
chat heard me.
Technically, Luke is the owner of the dark saber, and at the end, it's going to go back to him.
Well, you know what? I'm a yes and that and say Rey is the owner because she beat that ass in the last Jedi.
Oh yeah, I
Wait,
love this.
Who the
Yeah.
hell is Ray?
Ray's a baby though, so that don't count right now.
Oh yeah,
Um,
yeah.
You lost me.
But look. Ultimately, it's not about who had it last,
Try
Yeah.
chat.
right? It's about who won it last, right? Because even Paz Vizsla is like, I challenge you for the right. It belongs to my family. I challenge you. So it's not as much about the history of it as much as the now and here, right? The here and now are more important because even Paz had a witness to him challenging for it,
You hear that?
right? And that's a big part of what's coming, right? Is that more challenges for the saber will come. And that's honestly, Bo-Katan beats everybody's ass with that saber.
Well, I think my boy Paz Vizsla wants his round 2. Like, if we're
But
going with that.
but even watching somebody as humongous a Mandalorian as Paz Vizsla is, he still looked like he was a baby swinging a sledgehammer, right?
I think
mean,
he has his own personal conflict too. Being an ancestor of the Vizslas, it probably was
That's
a
what I
lot of
think
weight
no one-
on his shoulders.
pressure, yeah, for
Yeah,
sure.
that's why I
But
think no one's
ultimately, he
following
still looks
Din.
like a baby swinging a sledgehammer, right? Everybody does, except for maybe Bo-Katan and Sabine, right? So for me, if you talk about challenges, if Bo-Katan and Din Djarin fight, and Din gets disarmed of the Darksaber, and she ends up with it, it's not going to end like it did with Paz Vizsla. She's going to kill him.
But how, if we're going with Scott's theory, then
Oh,
how?
dude, did you see how easy it was for her to handle that saber with that beetle bug? Right?
Sure,
I mean,
but Din also defended himself against the dual wielding
but he
Ahsoka
didn't
Tano.
beat him
Din-
with the saber. He beat him with a vibroblade.
Din's trash.
Beat him
with
on the
saber. Sorry,
wall.
sorry.
He didn't. Paz was trying to kill him with the saber and couldn't.
Straight doodoo stains. Din is not
Defended
nice.
himself against Ahsoka Tano.
Do you think Bo-Katan would really go for the killing blow though? Like,
Of course.
Later,
especially if she's trying to unite the Mandalorians. Like,
She
I don't
can't-
think.
she can't not.
I think.
Okay, so
gotta-
I like
gotta-
where
Sure
you're
she
going
can.
with it.
Sure, she
I-
can.
I-
Sabine
she-
didn't kill Tar.
She doesn't have to at all. No. But
Bar.
basically what I'm trying to say here, to your point, I think so the whole thing right now, there's a theory going around that the story of Din Djarin is going to mirror that of Moses in the Bible. Because Moses basically leads the Israelites out of Egypt and back to the promised land, basically, and he basically is never allowed to actually go to the promised land because he disobeys God in the Bible and whatnot. So the little shard of glass that Din Djarin shows to the armor was actually about that kind of excerpt from Exodus in the Bible. It was literally written in Mandoa, though. And so people are thinking right now maybe Din Djarin is going to be like the Moses of Star Wars, I guess you could say,
Holy
or of
fuck,
the
dude, what
Mandalorian
is-
people.
With this Din Djarin fantasy, like bring back Osira from Chief. Yes, look at me
So
all you want.
do you
but
know?
bring
You don't
back-
even know where I'm going with it, though. What I'm gonna say is
Go
that
ahead.
Bo-Katan's gonna beat him in combat, and he's gonna be cast out and never allowed to return to Mandalore.
Oh, in that
Just
case,
like how
yeah.
he got cast out by taking off his helmet.
Come on. I mean, Paz Vizsla got his ass whooped, and they didn't exile him, and he got his
Yeah,
ass
but he
whooped
wasn't the holder of the saber.
in front of the armor too. Like she watched that ass get whooped, and then she got to look at him like, I thought you were tough. Like he little. Look at him. He little.
He was never the holder of the saber. He wasn't the owner of the dark saber.
I don't think he ever will be. To be honest, I don't think Paz Vizsla will ever.
I don't think so either.
I don't think it'll be. Honestly, it's a hard. Like she said, the saber doesn't bring power. The lore does. The story does. Right. The saber isn't the crown. The saber is just
The saber.
a beacon to Mandalorians. It's not necessarily the rightful crown.
There you
Right.
go. What's up, Scotty?
It's not a crown. It's a throne. And Dave Filoni said Game of Goddamn Thrones is a big influence on everything he's doing in this freaking show. No one's paying attention to anything he's saying.
Well, for sure. But at the same time, that's why I think she has to kill him. If they fight, right, she has to kill him. She has
I'm
to
with
put him-
Sheev on that one. If she's really trying to unite the people, like this, none of this
She
would
could
have been
easily
possible
just be.
if Din didn't take it from Moff. If Din didn't go to Mandalore, force her to go
Show
there,
her the
find
mythosaur.
right. Like he is going to be. At the very least, he needs to be the hand of the king. Like he needs to be
Maybe,
right there.
maybe.
Well,
just
I'm
show
saying-
Bo-Katan his mythosaur, and that's how we're gonna bring this whole thing together.
I'm telling you guys, I don't think. First of all, it's Disney.
That's
It's
Star Wars.
Disney.
That's
All right.
Star Wars Santa's dream right there. Is the Bo Din marriage shit? I hate
Oh, no.
that. I hate
Thank
any of
you.
this relationship
Not-
shit. in Star Wars, dude.
Now do you see why I said
Seriously.
bring back his girlfriend from the first season, Sheev, and they can go off in the sunset. If we're gonna
There you
give him
go.
a happy ending, just bring her back.
I'm with that.
Or Sabine's gonna show up and be like, "Hold up, I gave it to her." They're gonna scrap, and then she'll be the true ruler.
Honestly, I think the next fight we see is the Armor and Bo-Katan.
Oh yes.
I think the
please.
next fight, because I think that's what's coming. I think this episode, we saw a picture of the beach where we see Din, Bo, and the baby together. Din, the baby, Grogu, Din, and Bo together, and they're on the beach. And that beach looks very much like the beach that they were taking the Creed on. It seems like that's next. Not to mention, we see Bo's helmet in the room with the armor. Seems like that's next. He's going back to talk to them, saying, "Look, I bathed in the living waters. I said the creed.
I drowned in the
Kind of.
living waters,
I drowned
Kind
in
of.
there and she fucking saved me."
but so does she.
But thank you for setting that up. I think I don't know, but I think this could be the moment that she finally believes, because as all these years as the princess of Mandalore, she even talks about it was ceremonial. None of us really believe that shit. We all said the creed, and then I got showered with gifts, and I made my dad proud, and I made my family proud, but we don't believe this. Even as she's reading the placard, she's laughing at it, right? She's half giggling as she's telling him about the layer of the mythosaur, right? Because she's like, "There's no fucking mythosaur.
Let me
I've
give
been
you
here
the
all night."
full experience.
Right. Let me give you the full tour. Right. And she's literally kind of mocking him. Right. And then she goes and saves his ass and sees a mythosaur and jumps, comes out of the water. And now she's like, "Oh my God, everything is," this is almost a Han Solo moment. Everything is, it's all true.
real. All of it.
It's
Yeah.
all true. All of it. I didn't
I
believe it.
think.
Right. And I think this is her solo moment, is that, holy shit, everything is true. Maybe I do need to live by the creed. And so
Like
maybe both of them walk into the waters together.
The crazy
The armor said it.
talks about those cavemen like they were nothing. Like, oh yeah, those backwater animals, they've been here a long time. They're fucking monsters in the cave with the mythosaur, but you're chill with that being real, but you're not okay with the mythosaur. You know what I mean? Like that's
Well,
the math wasn't matching that.
Those animals lived on the outskirts of the city, though. That's what she was saying, is these creatures used to live on the outskirts of the city. We knew about them. They've been here for a long time. They've never been in the city because security wouldn't allow it. Now that the whole planet is gone, they're the only real survivors. So they went to the mines for shelter. That's how she kind of talked about it, is that these creatures lived here on Mandalore for you. That's how she knew what they were, right? That's why Din didn't know what they were, because he's never lived on Mandalore, right? She grew up. She knew all the security protocols. She knew everything because she was a royal. Just seems like, that holds true, but no one has in her lifetime has ever seen a mythosaur.
And
You know what it
yet,
really seems like?
it was
Seems
chilling
like we
on
have
me.
a show without a villain.
Yeah.
I think
So
you're.
So that's where this whole Game of Thrones thing is going to come into play,
I'm okay with
because
that.
we could find out. I think we could find out that the armor gave the exact same speech to Bo-Katan after the Night of 1,000 Tears. She says she's a cautionary tale. I think it's how she acquired the saber. That's what cursed their whole kind. So I think she was cast out. I think she could have actually been cast out by the armor. Now Din and Bo are both witnesses to themselves being redeemed. Now they're both technically probably a rightful contender, like a true rightful
she wasn't
contender.
cast out by the armor though.
So this is how it's going to start.
Well, no, the armorer was cast out because she's a Mandalorian. So the Mandalorians were technically the ones that were cast out. Right.
So how does she have any right to cast out Din? I think she had
Because
this similar conversation with Bo is all I'm saying.
She's not casting him out. She's more telling him, like, you broke the rules. You're out. Right. Like every Mandalorian in our covert follows the rules. And if you don't follow the rules, you got to go. And you're just no longer Mandalorian to them. Right. And that's what Bo talks about. Your cult did more damage to our society than the Empire did, basically.
And I'm sure the cult feels the same way about her.
Absolutely.
And the way she acquired the saber. So that's where your whole enemy or villain comes into play. It's really going to be the greed of the Darksaber or the.
I kind of agree with that.
I disagree.
This season is more about the Mandalorians than it is about the larger enemy, I think. This is more about the enemy within than
what about that clip?
Because we're gonna see tonight. Tonight is a 56-minute episode, which is banana shit for this caliber of show, right? Like that shit is I think that might be the longest episode we've seen, other than the premiere, maybe, right? So this is straight crazy. But then we're gonna see other Mandalorians. Basically, this episode is the gathering of the clans. This episode is going to be Din searching out a meeting of the leaders of all of the Mandalorians that are left. And so this episode is going to show more Mandalorians than we've ever seen, I think, in live action.
We're getting a Mandalorian that drove a Mandalorian.
What if they're like passing the Darksaber around the battlefield like Avengers Endgame? Go long.
Just throwing it at each other. I'm supposedly from what
weight's only from the blade. I mean,
I don't like spoilers and leaks and all that, and unfortunately, a lot of people do. But word on the street is that there's going to be a large gathering of Mandalorians in this episode.
Hell yeah!
So initially, from what I understand, and what I expect to happen tonight is we're going back to see the armorer, right? That's happening. And then we're going on a hunt. We see Din around all these Mandalorians of all different armor, color, all of this stuff. It just seems like tonight is going to be that William Wallace moment, right? That unite the clans moment. It's time to go home.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think it could
not
be
William Wallace. I heard he was 7 feet tall.
regardless of if we see the mythosaur again at the beginning of this episode or not. I think Din and Bo-Katan, or at least Din, is going to go back to that covert and tell them like it's the air is safe.
Video? Did you know?
I don't know if I did.
The Bo's little head in the background of the trailer.
Oh yeah, no, of course I did. I saw that.
They're going together, and they have to go together because they need the party bus.
Well, hey, it might happen later on. True. Well, so that's the thing. I'm curious because the N1 is obviously on Kalevala. Are we going to be going back there?
Nope. She's bringing the party bus. Everybody's hopping in the back of the party bus. If Grogu's going to become IG-11, where are they going to put that in the N1?
No, yeah, I heard Santa was talking about that for a little bit this morning, and I agree. Although I will say R5 technically wouldn't even fit in the N1 either, and they managed to make him fit. So who knows how Star Wars logic carries?
Wait, R2 fit in an N1 starfighter, and Red 5.
You actually look at the how it would work. Their bodies would not.
They'd be dangling.
You see the bottom of them, my guy.
I agree, but I mean, R2 fit in there, and nobody never said nothing. So R5 in there.
Well, yeah, no, I'm just saying. Like, that's the Star Wars logic, though. How does IG-11 suit fit in? I don't know. He just puts in the trunk.
Like a
Listen,
trunk.
it's not science fiction. It's a space opera.
But I do think we're not going to see the N1 for a while. I think there's too many parties involved at this time. Not to mention, watching a Mandalorian starfighter show up holds a lot more weight than Din Djarin showing up in an N1, right? It for the Mandalorians, it shows a little bit of almost a banner of truce, a white flag of truce, versus an unknown aircraft coming out of crazy. Like if Din had flown in like that without the lizard dragon coming out of the water, would they have been accepting? Right?
I would never fat shame R5.
Would they never fat shame R5?
2023.
But you know what I mean? Would they have been as easy if he hadn't just rescued the whole covert? Right? Like, would they have been like, oh, let's not shoot him down? Whereas
I thought that was messed up.
When does Boba Fett show up?
Oh, don't get me started, dude. I want season 2 of Boba Fett to be about Django so bad that I want them to write him in this season. Like, honestly, I just want them to talk about Django Fett. I just want to hear Bo-Katan say Django Fett's name one time.
Or Jaster Muriel or something like that.
Yes,
like,
dude,
yes,
dude. Because that's what I want. I want Boba to go. And I do agree with everybody. If we were going to see Boba, we'd have seen him on Tatooine when Din went to get R5. I don't think we're going to see him for a while, at least not until they're really heading back to Mandalore. I could see Din Djarin wanting Boba with him, especially after the Cantina fight, especially after the final battle on Tatooine. I could see him wanting Boba there because they fight so well together.
I love how Pelimoto went from 0 to 100, and like when she was speculating why he was there, like the last thing she said was like, "You gonna challenge Boba Fett?" I was like, "Whoa, wait a minute! Like, did you not just see them?"
She say take out Boba Fett? Like,
yeah,
that's bad. You can take out Boba Fett. What's going on?
I was like, "What are you talking about?"
Like, dude, I just need a droid. Chill.
Yeah,
talk to the Jawas.
That shit was funny.
Chill. Well, and Pelly is awesome. I know a lot of people hate on Pelly. Pelly is
awesome.
Hilarious.
Crazy, bro.
She is literally like I can't say this without incriminating myself. She is literally a swindling motherfucker, right? She is a straight swindler. She's like, go wreck another speeder. It's the Bunta. Money's pouring everywhere. Right? Like, she's literally shady as fuck, bro.
I'm not gonna lie.
So shady.
Bro, I'm waiting for like a cutscene, like office style interview after she does some shit, and then she's like the way they got her like looking like Rick James and shit. Now she's like, cocaine's a hell of a drug.
Yeah,
like dead sticks, bro. Dead sticks are the business.
That shit wore off for me a while ago, dude. I'm kind of over her, but she's like that video game character you go to get upgrades and shit. Now
that's it.
It's like, goddamn, girl.
Well, but when you got Jawas, you can find almost anything. You know what I mean? Like that's kind of
Rancor Z.
She's shady, dude. I love that part because that reminded me of my youth. She's like, I'm having homies take parts off of this and like stealing wheels and all kinds of shit. Like that's some Fast and Furious shit right there, bro.
Oh my God.
Like Pelly is like hilarious, dude. I had so many flashbacks when Pelly started talking shit. She was like, it'll take 2 months. I got to order parts from the mid-rim. And then she's like, hey, is he gone? Hey, get the Jawas. Like, that shit to me just hit home. I thought that was funnier than shit because she's just a player, right? Don't hate the player. Hate the game.
The game. Yeah.
Hate the game. And if it's Boonta Eve, cocaine's a hell of a drug. So, man. So are we going to see anything other than Mandalorians tonight? Are we going to see Coruscant or is it Hosnian Prime? Because I think this is finally going to put an end to the debate on whether it's Hosnian Prime or Coruscant.
We'll see.
Yeah. I do think that's probably coming tonight. That is some of the only footage that we really haven't seen. And that's why I was saying Kalevala earlier too. But I do think that at least by the end of tonight's episode, we're going to get some sort of glimpse as to what's going on with maybe Moff Gideon, Dr. Pershing most likely. And yes, we will find out whether it's Coruscant or Hosnian Prime because I have no clue. It's probably Coruscant, which would be really freaking cool to see in the Mandalorian timeline.
Well, and it'd be interesting because that would be the first glimpse we have of Coruscant post-Empire. right? We saw the added stuff that they did in the original trilogy after the Death Star blew up and the fireworks on Coruscant and all these other places. So it's going to be interesting because we haven't seen Coruscant since the destruction of the Death Star.
Why are you
We
thinking
we
Coruscant?
did see it.
because
I guess since the destruction of the Death Star, that is true.
Second
Because
Death
we
Star.
did.
Which
Yeah, yeah.
one? Which one? The second one.
Well, because I was saying we see it in Andor, but that's before even the first Death Star.
That's
So
the first Death Star. Yeah.
that's during.
And
that
that's
part.
probably my favorite joke that they wrote into Mandalorian is I was there when the Death Stars blew up. Which one? Which one? 'Cause
I
we blew
actually,
both up.
I don't know if any. Have you guys heard Hosnian as like a possibility, or people are just?
Steve and I were discussing it a couple streams ago just because we see him in a speeder in a major city. And because we saw Hosnian Prime being the first target of the First Order, we weren't sure if that's
I
where they
do
were
think
going with it.
either Chandrilla or Hosnian Prime is like the new capital, I believe, of the New
Yes.
Republic. I'm not sure exactly, so that's why I figured it might be Hosnian Prime, and looks like it could be because the little glimpse of it we see before it gets obliterated. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
it's
It looks
either
very
I
Coruscant.
think
yeah, it does
it
look
would be
Coruscant.
really cool to see Hosnian Prime because I think there's more wealth there. I want to say there might be more wealth there than Coruscant.
Well-
The only other, and it's not out of the realm of possibility because they're trying to work this stuff in. We are getting closer to that era. And I will bring up the fact no one's watched the Resistance show, but the whole like big thing in the Resistance show is that the main actor or the main kid, his parents lived on Hosnian Prime. He witnessed the systems being destroyed. So he's out there in the galaxy and might see hints of that stuff too. I don't know.
Well,
Kaz would be cool.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Hosnian Prime, look, Hosnian Prime would make sense because the tie-ins at this point have been very sequel oriented. It doesn't seem like they're going back as much as they're going forward right now with the storytelling. So for me, it makes more sense to be Hosnian Prime.
Last thing, real quick, before you go, Dan, real quick, last thing. That line that is in sequels, I want them to pay off eventually, is where we don't know who's funding both sides. There's somebody funding both sides. That could be on Hosnian.
Well, go ahead, Dan. I don't want to strafe you.
Yeah, no, I was saying I love what Dave Filoni said last week about Din's journey potentially not having to cross over with the sequels because they already have so much going on. Like since they're introducing concepts like the New Beyond, we've never seen that. This is most likely probably where that story's going. It's just basically reinforcing that idea of the galaxy being so huge. We can watch these different adventures and who says they have to be like the MCU. Not everything has to be connected. So like, I just love that. Shout out to Dave for reaffirming that.
I totally agree. But at the same time, it seems like more than not that the breadcrumbs are on the floor that are leading to the sequels, right? I mean, you've got some tie-ins already, but it seems like it doesn't have to attribute straight to the future story, but there are little breadcrumbs that are going to lead us there. Have already started leading us there.
I mean, you can say the Jedi, the temple on Luke's planet, or the mention of the First Order. But I think, to me, I think she was just talking about there will be order, not necessarily calling the legit title First Order. I think that was just her talking. But yeah, I'm not denying there are those little breadcrumbs. I just think it's good to have these new stories that we don't have to stay bogged. To say that the New Beyond is where Snoke was created is blasphemy to me. Like, we don't have to tie everything down to just one direction. There's multiple avenues we can go, and I think, and that's why we love Star Wars, to see different stories. Resistance has nothing to do with the Old Republic. It's simple as that. Like,
right, and that's what I'm saying. I don't see them. The only backwards we're going in Mandalorian is the stories of Mandalore. No Jedi, no Coruscant, no real Emperor, right? They're not.
What about the flashbacks?
They're talking about
Order
the Empire.
66.
They're not really. They're just showing you what happened to Mandalore. They're not telling you about Palps. They're not talking about Vader. They're not talking about anything other than what's in front of him, right? When Bo talks about Jedi, she's like, "Oh, how good are you with the Force?" Right? She's like, "How good are you at this? How she's asking generic questions because she's seen it all before. So she's asking him very generic questions. Everything we've seen that was a flashback was about the empire, just the fist of the empire, the way that Bo describes it, right?
Grogu's perspective.
It's not
Bo's
about
been in a room with like two of the greatest Jedi of her time and didn't even know they were related, or even four technically if you count Ahsoka and Obi-Wan. But
Yeah.
you fought against with Anakin and Luke, bro. Like you're part of the great history. That's good shit.
Yeah, I mean, people don't get that that's how far Bo goes back. I mean, she fought with Anakin when he was Anakin.
Mm-hmm.
She Ahsoka was still a Padawan when they first met. In fact, Bo smacked her on the ass,
Yep.
right?
Mm.
Like, go team, right? Get in there, right? I mean, and then she works alongside Obi-Wan Kenobi, freeing Obi-Wan Kenobi,
Mm-hmm.
right? There's so much. She's seen so much of the Jedi, but she doesn't mention any names.
Right.
She doesn't, they don't name drop. None of it. She's like, I've known Jedi. I fought with Jedi. How good are you with the Force? Right? Like, she's not taking us backwards. She's talking about him and where he is more than talking about the old stuff. So that's what I'm saying, is that it just seems like the Mandalorian is pushing forward in the universe, not traiping back so much. If we get flashbacks, it's just to accent what's going on right now, right? It's
Well-
not so much to lead us backwards.
Or
One
to
more
develop
thing.
the characters.
Right, correct.
Right. And also, I like what Star Wars Meg said too about if we are going to do flashbacks, let them play a role that will be into the future. Like everyone's speculating, Mace or Anakin is going to open the door, but it's like, what if it's Ray Stevenson's character who's going to be in the Ahsoka show?
Right.
Like maybe Taryn took Grogu. Like just these little breadcrumbs to plant seeds for the skeleton crew in Ahsoka can go a long way.
And that's the only other stuff that we're getting from Coruscant and the Jedi is Grogu. Grogu's flashbacks are very centered around that because that's part of his story, right?
Mhm.
We're not getting any, oh, we saw Reva exiting too, or oh, we saw, no. This is only about him and his situation
Yeah.
at that moment and what he can remember, right?
Yeah.
The Pelimoto scene, I really enjoyed that because she goes to Sheep's point that I kind of still feel sus about how much he learned, right? He jumps out of the N1 and she's like, "Who taught you all these tricks?" Right? Like immediately seeing his growth where nobody else does, right? And then you see him walking in this episode to go rescue Din. He jumps in his pram and takes off. You see the growth in his mind, not just his ability. You see the growth in everything, right? He's very aware.
Are you talking about Grogu right now?
Yeah.
You're saying you can see growth in his mind?
No, you can see the growth in him. Like you can see him growing.
You're seeing the same animatronic puppet that I'm seeing.
What I'm saying is that like when he takes off to go get Bo and then he brings her back and he's like, "Oh, I don't want to go any farther." She's like, "You got to lead me to him." And you see him have an internal discussion with himself and then he's like, "Boom, lights on, let's go." Right?
Yep.
Like he absolutely is debating his actions. He's not just following along anymore, right? So yeah, his growth, his mental growth is
Episode 2 is the most independent we've seen Grogu to date, and that's
Yes.
really all I
Yeah,
want.
he starts making more noises. Like I think he's
Yes.
going to be talking a little bit by the end of the season. Like there is growth going on with the Grogu character, and Jon Favreau even said before the season that he's going to grow a lot this season. I think Grogu might even be the center of growth this season in terms of like the character that grows the most. So
All I wanted was adolescent Grogu, so even little bit of growth that's
dude,
all right.
even the first two episodes, like almost the moral of the season so far, or like the theme of it is Din Djarin teaching Grogu how to become a Mandalorian or how to be a Mandalorian. And the funny thing about that is I don't even think Din Djarin really knows how to be a Mandalorian. So they're kind of on that journey together on how to really be a Mandalorian. Like he's telling him like, oh, to be a Mandalorian, you have to know how to navigate the galaxy and all this stuff that he's learned from being in his cult. And I think the cult has even strayed away from the true kind of way of the Mandalore. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for real. Din is like the equivalent of like, let me show you what it means to be from Boston, but you're talking in a Southern accent the whole time. Like,
Yeah, I'm from now. I can't even do it now, but yes. I mean,
maybe even Grogu and Paz Vizsla's son will be like friends when they figure out their journey together. You know, once
Friends, or do you think adversaries?
adversaries at first, but then they'll be wiser than their dads, you know, because they butt heads a lot. But I think those two will wise up and be like, yeah, let's.
I don't know, man. The Vizsla clan is all janked up at this point. Like,
well, they buy in so hard is the problem. They bite harder than anybody on that whole creed, right? They take it to the letter, right? And Dan, in case you didn't catch this, yeah, who's got trains?
Oh, that's me.
Oh,
Dang.
hey, Paz Vizsla.
where did she?
Sam, we got louder.
Wah, wah.
Okay, I can't. I see the picture, but nah, there it is. Okay, say it right there. Words of the creed, founder forged in the heart. This is the way, moment, or I shall rule. Okay, yeah.
Damn it, Sajin, you were nerding out hard before, and I started messing with you, and you're just like begging me to bully you again.
Bully me, baby, do it. Don't bother me.
I'm not gonna bully you. I'm a 37-year-old with braces on right now. Gee.
That's okay. I want some Invisalign fucking bad. And honestly, it's YouTube's fault. I was never vain about anything, but now I really want some Invisalign. It drives me crazy. All right. What are we going to see tonight?
In the Bad Batch? What do you mean?
Yes, let's go there.
Oh, okay. Bad Batch time.
I
Yeah.
saved something just for you.
Me?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I saved something just for you.
I feel so humble
Because
I'm building my way into Obsession's heart.
I this was just for you today. I saved this just so I could show you.
Well, yeah.
This was from what I believe is the
yeah.
the one that had the leaker last, or what do you call these?
The Kiner brothers.
Well, yeah, but what would you call a satire? What would you call this?
A preview.
Okay, a prelude.
Wait, who is this? Is this Connor Brothers?
Yes.
Yeah.
This is what they posted today.
R.I.P. to Meme-matic, by the way. That's what they were making the memes with before, and now they use something else. So
yeah,
R.I.P.
I know that too. It's like, what is this memes with?
So they're gonna permanently decommission all the clones.
No, it's
Easy
an
clap.
episode focusing on the ones that aren't X'd out.
Wait. So
Because everybody else is
and
dead.
Echo are doing their own thing now. Crosshair is going to go off on his own.
Well,
He's not
Crosshair's
gonna
dead.
join them.
Crosshair's
I-
basically dead. He's going to be a dark trooper by the end of the season.
Probably. I'm
But
scared for him.
If he follows the trend of Rex and Echo, what if he joins them?
Is that Echo in front?
Yeah, that's
That is
and
Echo.
Oh,
That's from the Clone
pre.
Wars.
That was pre. Yeah.
Yeah. So that it's Echo, Rex, and Crosshair with their faces crossed out. Now, I will say, to add a little more context, one of the Kiner brothers, Sean, I think, was like trying to post this, and the other brother was like trying to tease out. He's like, Sean's trying to post this thing, and it's really messed up. And I think it's like he's messing with us, is really what it is. So it's probably as simple as these three characters are just not in tonight's episode. But then Jennifer Corbett, the showrunner, was in the comments too, and she was like, yo, something about getting eaten tonight, or like, eating good tonight. And then she said in her post on her Twitter something about feasting in tonight's episode. So who knows, maybe these three dudes are, maybe not Rex, but maybe these three dudes get eaten by the Zillo Beast or something.
We gotta remember where we're at. The episode right before last, last time we did this Obsession stream, they were giving word to Echo and Rex though about something.
Right.
That was a
I
Yeah,
think
they
that's
were.
what was even harder.
sick, dirty joke, but I'll behave.
The part that bothers me the most about this is that smile.
Oh yeah, they got all
That shit
the
creeps me
creepy
out.
But
editing.
soldiers
Like,
follow
oh,
orders, man.
I'm gonna have nightmares about that now.
All of them are kind of freaking me out. I
The
got
only one that actually knows how to smile is tough guy
Wrecker,
Wrecker.
because he's always smiling.
Yeah. Damn,
So,
I don't know why I can think of his name.
Are we gonna now?
I had
Is
these Santa predictions right now. I'm just filling out my name. I'm putting the craziest sentence long names. Right
I mean,
now.
look,
Be ready
the
for
Bad
them.
Batch is definitely it's definitely in, I don't know, it seems like a weird place. If this is going to be another mission of the week, that's gonna
No.
I hope not. That's the word on the street, is that this could be another mission of the week episode.
Oh, I'm gonna wait to talk to Sheev off screen and do this one then.
It'll be the last
I
mission of the
don't
week for
know
some of
nothing
them.
about this episode. It's I will say
I don't know. He answered that way too quick to not know.
Right,
something
right,
going on.
right? And
Y'all
Bagger,
heard what
I don't.
Scotty just said.
tonight's episode is titled Pabu. That's what I do know. And next week's episode is titled Tipping Point. So I don't know. Maybe it is going to be a feature of the week or another mission of the week kind of thing. Because I think Tipping Point could be the episode where they're like officially done with Sid. You know what I mean? It's the tipping point of dealing with Sid. It also could be, you know, the double entendre meaning and whatnot. Tipping point could be when they're done with Sid, and also when
All of them have been double
the tipping
entendre
point for
meanings, man.
Crosshair, as we find out what happens to him in the end of that episode or something.
well, it
Starting
seems
with
like
like Solitary Clone. That was like both Cody and Crosshair
Yeah,
were Solitary Clones. Yeah, like
Well,
all
and
of them.
it does seem like you know, now that Omega is in the crosshairs, so to speak, of
The Empire.
the Empire at this.
About to say,
Um,
aren't they still hunting her down? Like,
No,
They
they
are
don't
now,
know. Here's the
yeah.
thing. They don't know. They don't. Number one, the Empire doesn't even know about her.
no, Mount Tantus people want Omega.
Right, but the only two people who know that Omega is with the Bad Batch are Crosshair and
No, let's say.
Nala Se, and they're both on Tantus, right? And at this point, they're now going to go to Nala Se and say,
She's gonna
"Who's this
spill.
girl that you're so obsessed with?"
Mhm.
She's not going to say shit. Then they're going to go to Crosshair and be like, "Hey, you ran with these guys. Where is this girl?" And that's where they're going to find out that she's with the Bad Batch.
They're going to make Crosshair turn them
Yep.
go against this will and turn them
Yep.
in. That'd be crazy.
That's what I think. I think this is going to be an episode about them hunting her,
Yeah.
and that they are. But she hasn't been in the Empire crosshairs until now. They've just been on the run. They really didn't know about her,
Well,
and
so
now they know about her.
what surprised me was when they brought back the OG Triple G Prime Minister, who I
Almost
thought
do.
was dead.
Yeah, well, I think all of us thought he was dead. Like, where the hell did that come from?
Like,
He's in prison.
you know what I mean? So now that he's out and working with the Empire, I think he might see him again too, working on some sicko experiments as well.
Well, and then we have that ex-senator. Those are the only three that I know of that survived.
Oh yeah.
Right? And he didn't know anything about that. Like I said, Omega was probably the most kept secret in the old Republic, right?
I know.
No one's
So much
kept
so
that
it took
secret.
40 years to find out about her.
I mean, there's okay. Here's that Papu, right? So, like you were saying, there's this double entendre thing, right? That you guys are discussing. From what I understand from Santa's leaks, Papu is a planet. Okay, because Santa ruins everything.
That's what I'm gonna
And
get right.
Just like toys, weird.
And his lovable band of misfits, they ruin everything with their spoilers.
Oh yeah.
So I'm watching Santa's stream today, and that's a joke, dude, in case
I
the
saw you
chat
in
No,
there.
yeah.
no, if the chat knows I love Santa and Meg and Jason. But they were talking about it, and then at the end of the stream, Santa gets this email or this text message or whatever saying you can divulge whatever you want. So he's talking about it. So apparently Papu's a planet. But like you guys were saying, there's been a lot of double entendres this season, right? What
The
if
Bad Batch in general.
and this is specifically to my oldest theory with Omega. What if they find out that they are clones of her? What if she's the anti?
The anti.
What if Nala
well,
Se?
because Pabu means aunt
Aunt.
in another culture, or it's like maternal
Auntie.
aunt, I guess. Yeah.
Aunt. So, what if that's what the Kaminoans reveal is that she is technically the beta test
Yeah.
for the Bad Batch. Were the beta tests from her DNA, not Django's.
Damn.
Yeah,
crazy.
you could be right, man. I mean, I'm wondering too. I thought Pabu could be more the fact that I think it's either Sid, like if it is double entendre with this new planet potentially, I think it still could be Sid who is like a aunt in a way to Omega, or it could be Nala Se as well, as she was kind of a mother and aunt figure to Omega as well. And again, it could be kind of a mission of the week thing where they go to a planet called Pabu, but then of course at the end there might be some double meaning where either Sid crosses a line, or maybe Nala Se gives them what they need with the information, or they threaten Omega and then she like gives her up, you know what I mean, or does something like that.
And then we
Or-
find out Pabu is actually Yara Poof, who's really Omega's uncle. I'm kidding.
IRL proof.
Yeah, well, let's go.
Oh my
But
god.
to this point here, Hemlock only finds out from Lama Su.
Yep.
He doesn't know more about it. He just knows that she is
There's a girl.
She just knows a girl. She doesn't even know she's a clone.
Mhm.
She just knows there's a young girl,
Mm.
right? So really, it's going to be on them to narrate that relationship, and then we're probably going to see Sid get a bounty, a bounty puck or a wanted
Omega.
poster for Omega, and she's going to turn him in. And I think Omega could get captured this week, and I think tipping point is them going to Tantus to rescue her, finding Crosshair, getting cut into bits to be a dark trooper, and discovering what's really going on.
That
It's
would
an
be
interesting
friggin'
theory.
dope.
But hear me out, because if we follow the Urban Dictionary definition of Pabu, it's actually the rare occurrence of ejaculating in your underwear after a male touches your penis for
Holy
time.
fuck! What are you doing?
I knew he'd go
I'm
there.
reading the dictionary. I'm
He's
sure
doing
my
what they
stream-
did on Jason Ward's stream. Classic.
I didn't know that. I didn't catch it. Is that what happened?
Yeah.
Oh man.
I mean, yeah, it's for sure going to be a 2-episode arc. There's no doubt. What are we sharing? Who's sharing? Oh,
I am.
oh, Jesus.
I wasn't like just coming off the top of the head with this. This is what I saw for a sec. I googled.
It's the first thing you saw. See, that's why you can never trust the internet. Amazing. Amazing. Wow.
She just like ran away. As soon as I
Yeah,
started
Steve's like, I gotta go. Yeah, I mean, look, the Bad Batch is in a weird place just because, you're following Mando. It's tough to keep pace with that show.
Oh yeah.
It's funny, I was watching something that was talking about the ratings, and it's like, you realize that is like a fraction of the viewing population, right? That's like 2% of the viewing population that you're tallying here. So if you're talking about, this score and that score and this viewership and that viewership, you're not really capturing the entirety of it.
People are, I agree. When you were talking about it earlier,
Any reason to shit on Star Wars?
they'll find it.
Everybody's finding a seat
They'll
on the
find
train,
it. Yep.
right? There's
And
a seat. for all of
they're
them.
trying to complain that the viewership's lower than it's ever been or whatever, when they're taking it from a fraction of who it
100%, dude.
like, yeah, dude. It's literally like their population of the US households that have Disney Plus and are watching it for the premiere. And it's like, dude, some people wait for the season to kind of get along to watch it. A lot
Some
of people don't
wait
tune
till
in
Friday night so they can watch with their families, right?
some
And nobody's,
fans
like-
don't even know that it came out yet, and they're
Nobody
going to see
considers
more
the
stuff.
competition
I mean,
either.
Oh, I don't know about that. They aired that shit at the Super Bowl, dog.
for sure, but like
That's-
they might have
that's
forgot the date
that-
it was coming
look,
out or something, and now
Not many
they'll
things
see it.
compete
But
with God. Okay, not many sporting events compete with God, but Super
Yeah.
Bowl Sunday
Super
is the
Bowl.
only day that God loses, right? On
Yeah.
Sunday. So if you aired a Mandalorian trailer on the Super Bowl, chances are the entire goddamn country saw it. I'm just
For
speaking
sure,
out
but
loud.
again, I don't even remember what I had for breakfast in the morning, let alone what date the Mandalorian was. If I was a
Right.
more
I'm with
casual
you. I'm
fan,
just
you know
saying.
what I'm saying?
I
Like,
think the demographic they're taking and the
but
polling
but
samples
and
they're
they're
taking.
comparing it to Obi-Wan and Book of Boba Fett, which it literally had almost the same numbers as Book of Boba Fett, if not greater numbers. And it was like only zero point 0.5 million less than, which is, I get that's a lot of people, but less than Kenobi, a show that fans were waiting decades for. You know what I mean? Like, there was so much hype around the Kenobi show and it aired 2 episodes in the first week. Of
Well,
course,
and name
2
name
million fans
recognition
tuned
is
in.
a big part of that, right?
Big
Boba
part.
and yeah, big part of that. Boba
Boba Fett
and
and Obi-Wan Kenobi
Obi-Wan were
compared to The
names,
Mandalorian season 3. It's
but they're
like,
names
dude,
that have
it
been
did
carried
good.
on for 20
But
years.
how do we know that, Chief? They all
What do you
put
mean?
Mando to sleep.
He put a Rancor to sleep.
I
Damn
mean,
it!
they know those
What are you
names
talking about?
have been
Ooh, sorry.
synonymous with Star Wars for decades, right? Obi-Wan Kenobi, Boba Fett. Mandalorian doesn't have the same fan base out of the gate, right? Yes, it's a huge show, but people aren't salivating to see that. Kenobi and Boba Fett, people were like, "Oh, you're making something new? I want to see it." Right? Oldies, normies, muggles, all of us wanted to see what was coming out. Now, this season, you know,
It
maybe it
also was kind of a building episode just to kind of defend it a little more. Like, you didn't kick it off with a reveal of Grogu at the end of it and get the hype going where everybody's telling, dude, you got to go watch this first episode. It was a little bit of a quieter, more building episode. And then they kind of kicked it off with a crazy ending to episode 2, revealing the mythosaur to us. So it's like the viewership is going to build and build until we get to the kind of crazy parts when everybody's going to tune in and go, dude, did you see that Mandalorian episode? The same way they're talking about The Last of Us and all this other stuff. You know what I
Well, I
mean?
think they want that for their other shows too, because case in point, if you didn't watch Boba, you wouldn't know why Grogu is back with Din, going into season 3. So, and unfortunately, I think even if Boba was up to standard, it just didn't have the legs that Mandalorian does. Because
That's so funny that you say that though, because to all of these people, they're like, dude, the Book of Boba Fett got more viewership than the Mandalorian. It's like, so why are you complaining that
Right.
they had it in the Mandalorian?
there's
People
a
were
math
watching.
ain't mathing.
there's a seat on the shit train, and everybody's got one.
Exactly. It's just
Everybody,
to take a dump.
any opportunity to shit on Star Wars is going to happen,
Mhm.
right? I mean, across the metaverse, like, whether it's Twitter, Facebook, anywhere you go, if there's an opportunity to shit on Star Wars, these guys are going to do it.
I mean, that's
Right.
1.5 million people tuning in just in U.S. households that this one little
Just
thing
in 25
had access
million
to.
households. That's not even a fraction of the actual viewership here, let alone
Yeah.
internationally. Go one step further. Aren't they starting to air a lot of this Disney Plus content on Hulu, or not Hulu, on
Recently, Mandalorian, the first 2 episodes, I think, were on cable television.
Yes.
So
right. So they're making moves to try to get more viewership. They're making moves to make it more accessible. And that's because Disney owns the whole goddamn world when it comes to media. So they can put it anywhere they want after the fact, right?
They're about to lose Hulu and Universal if they sell off the rights for Hulk and Namor to get them back.
Worth it.
Mm-hmm.
Chief, check your phone real quick.
For me personally, I don't think that even the people who are tracking the views and the numbers like that, I mean, these shows and streaming have only been around for how many years? Like, we as a civilization don't even have a grasp of what these views mean. And what I'm kind of getting at with this is, like, there's so much content now. Marvel's making shows, DC's going to start making stuff. The views aren't necessarily going to mean as much as the content tracking, content having longevity, people wanting to come back and watch it. As long as people are coming back to Disney Plus to watch something, I don't think these big companies are concerned about, like, oh, well, Star Wars is doing worse than Marvel, or, like, they own all that shit. They don't care about the views as much as we do.
The fuck out of here.
There's a concept too in business when we're talking about, like, the Fortune 500 companies, the infinite game, they're playing a completely different game than we're playing,
look,
guys. They're
streaming-
not
look.
playing a game that they're trying to win. They're playing a game they're just trying to play. They
But look,
literally don't care about the money as long as they're
Listen, you
continuing
play to
play
win the game. You
No,
play to
not
win
this
the game.
game.
But the thing
You
is,
play
that
not to lose. This is the infinite game. You play to stay in business.
movies are not
Yeah.
going anywhere. Movies are not new, right? The
Well,
medium
Star Wars
is not,
doesn't make movies. What are we talking about right now?
but the medium isn't new. Streaming
They
is
just
new.
made announcements. They're switching
Streaming
that up.
is the future, right?
I don't know.
The,
man.
the days of cable television and all that stuff are dated, right?
Yeah.
The movies are going to always be there.
It's kind of starting to cycle back though, because
It
they're
is.
talking
And
about
that's my,
selling Hulu to.
but that's my
Comcast.
point, is that streaming is the future right now, right? There could be something later. There's always going to be a new. Right now, the new is streaming. And we haven't seen a new media in since cable television, right? Since we went from 3 channels, which I remember, I don't know how many of you remember 3 channels back in the day,
And PBS.
Right. and PBS. 4 channels back in the day. That's all we had. To 15 years later, we have cable television,
Thousands.
DirecTV, and Dish Network that have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of channels. If you want to watch nothing but basketball, guess what? There's a channel for you. Wait, you only want to watch college basketball? I got a channel for you, right? So they went on this huge thing for what, 25 years with cable TV? Their ship has sailed. The new ship pulling out of port is streaming, and Disney is investing in their streaming platform. Movies they know they could make $1 billion movie right now that grosses $3 billion. It's not going to mean shit if it's not on their streaming platform.
Guys,
Right.
they put Melissa McCarthy as
Oh.
Ursula. They don't give a shit.
They don't give a shit. Right now, Disney cares about getting their streaming platform to its peak performance. If that means selling off some of the assets to gain assets to further their streaming platform, that's what they're going to do, because the movie theaters aren't going anywhere. So they know they can hold out for a couple more years, and the movies and people are going to get excited. Look what happened the last time they went on a hiatus for movies. The Force Awakens was rad. You can hate the sequels all you want. That first movie was rad.
The hype for the movie was rad.
That's
Yeah.
what I'm saying. So why not build that same hype over the next couple years? Build your streaming platform, and when you do come out of the gate, it better be smash.
I think that's the plan, though. You
That's
know what I
the-
mean? Like, they've been trying to take their time. People are complaining about, oh, no, movies. It's like, because if they rush out a movie, you're going to sit there complaining again like you did for Last Jedi and Solo and all of these stuff. Like,
Doesn't have any Jedi in it. I hate it. Andor doesn't have any Jedi and I hate it.
I keep
fuck
thinking
outta
Mike
here.
have that voice from like the judge in Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
Would you rather me go a little darker?
I would actually. It's more fun.
It's meant to be ear pitching. It's on purpose.
Not catching, just pitching.
That's exactly how Grogu's going to sound when he talks. Just watch.
I had to
The
change up my
viewpoint?
name real quick, if you notice, because
Yep.
news just broke that unrelated to Star Wars, that my starting running back, my favorite football team, just left the Bears and went to the Detroit Lions for $6 million a year.
Yeah.
I mean,
You're a
I-
Lions fan? And the other guy was a Pack. I hate all.
I read some
Vikings, get it right.
I read some stuff about the Raiders and the Patriots or something like that. We traded somebody.
Hey, did you guys know Tom Brady retired?
Again?
Garoppolo,
So
my
angry
guy.
right now.
Garoppolo.
That's what I told James to check his phone, because I can't talk about football right now. Nobody's going to understand what I'm talking about. I'm so mad. You know, like the soul crushing blow that just hit me right when you were talking about something. I'm like,
That's great.
Interdivisional trades. Wow.
So
Yeah,
what?
Imagine being a Swift owner right now.
not even a trade. It's just a free agent pickup.
It's just
$6 million a year. We have $45 million in cap space. We couldn't sign a running back. What the hell?
he put a Rancor to sleep.
He put a red
Quarter
quarter.
go to sleep, but we can't sign Dave Montgomery.
Do you?
And now he's
Good
playing for
job,
the
boss.
Lions, so
Who
he's
cares?
dead to me.
If we get all of the clans together tonight, if tonight is the night
Warning.
that Din, tomorrow, whatever, it's tonight for me.
Listen, sir, I live on the East Coast. It's
If
a
we
part of a
if
country
we
where
get the
people live.
clans coming together tomorrow. It's already tomorrow in Japan. Are we going to see some Mandalorian on Mandalorian crime?
Oh,
I think we're gonna see them try to stop the pirates from Navarro. We gotta get our kids back in school, man. Gotta get
Oh,
those
that
things.
would be cool.
Do you think that's before or after Din comes for the clans? Do you think that's
After he
I
has
think
to,
Probably after.
yeah, he has to unite them first for them to liberate the school, right?
Yep,
Yeah.
yep.
I think it would be cool if they tell them about the mythosaur and everything, and they call in all the clans. To your point, getting all the Mandalorians to come in together, and we kind of go from there. I would love if at some point in the season it becomes kind of like a what's that the sword and the stone kind of thing where everybody tries to ride the mythosaur or conquer it. You know what I mean? Like I think that would be so cool.
Yeah.
it's like, who could stay on longer wins?
Who can even get on? How about that? You know what I mean? Like,
Well, and see, this is where I want to see Boba Fett, right?
Such
If he's
slumming down there with
if
Scotty.
he was telling the Rancor trainer, he's like, I've ridden things much bigger than this. Then I want to see that. I want to see that Boba on a mythosaur, bro. That's what I want to see.
Every line matters, man.
Right? Every
does have the
line matters.
Though. That's what I'm saying. He can't be that big. Can't be.
It's got to be big enough,
I'm surely not 100 school buses.
Well, no.
That's why I think it would be cool to see Grogu.
Here's how it's probably going to go down. Boba's going to come in on his Rancor,
Slap it up.
And then Bo is going to ride the Mythosaur while Din finds the Zillo Beast.
Oh, everybody gets a beast?
Oh, yeah.
Everybody gets a
Oh,
then Ezra rides in on the Purgle.
that's it.
Right?
Yep.
That's right. Yep. He's like, I'm coming, brother. Oh yeah, you're my half brother, right? Yeah.
You know what's sleeping on the
Yeah.
street, and I tried to tease it and like just inject it into the conversation earlier. Like we don't got a villain. Remember the promos? Like you specifically, Obsession, were highlighting and pointing out to us where X-wing pilot guy is like, there's a bigger threat out there.
Yeah.
Where the fuck is he? What's his threat?
But I think this is what everybody doesn't want to hear. But this is Dr. Pershing. This is Hemlock, right? This is all of these pieces that are becoming the First Order.
Bro,
Right?
Hemlock is Omega.
without Pantis.
Crazy idea.
I stopped the music for you. Go ahead.
What if we get the Pershing stuff tonight and we see like I envision this as going down as like there's this big like court case because the Republic wants to do things all goody two shoes. Yeah, it's like a tribunal like gathering to kind of give Moff Gideon a sentence, you know what I mean, for his crimes against the Republic. And they bring in Pershing to kind of have him as a witness and whatnot. And what if we get our first look at Snoke or like the first iteration of Snoke at this time period, and he kind of like breaks out Moff Gideon or has his forces break out Moff Gideon? You know what I mean?
Isn't it a little early?
Is it though? We already saw kind of like deformed looking Snoke back in season 2, and they got more of Grogu's blood at the end of the season.
I forgot about that because they did talk about the running out of blood and the sample projects and all that. Yeah, it could be close to a first iteration of Snoke. Like I said, I think
that body could have been the body, bro.
We could always go with option C. Just saying.
I mean, they did blow up the base that body was on, but they did get more of Grogu's blood too. Moff Gideon even says that to Din, like, all I wanted was his blood. I got it. You can have him back. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, and then he tried to kill him.
Option C being
they liars.
By the way,
what's that, Dan?
Option C being my boy Tor Valen coming from the shadows.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Word on the street is okay. Well, we're going to go down this rabbit hole real quick. Who's Christopher Lloyd playing tonight?
Chris Lloyd, I'd be forgetting he's in the show, bro.
Yeah, bro. This has been a big one for me. Everybody was Sabayoff. Could he be a young Snoke? Is he a Mandalorian? I mean, don't die. Don't
Too
choke.
late.
Sorry, I said the wrong word. I apologize.
Shit.
Who's he going to play tonight?
Oh fuck, he could be that guy from Rebels.
Yes.
With the you know what I'm talking about? Yes. My boy with the astronaut helmet. Hang on. He
With the
he
what?
came in and helped the crew out a little bit later.
Fen
But
Rao.
Is that his name?
Can't. He's way too old to be that guy.
Yeah, he looks a little old to be Fen
I mean,
Rao, but
Christopher Lloyd is like 350 years old.
he is.
He looks older than
He's
dirt.
a time traveler. Of
And
course, he's
6 months.
350.
And so we have fucking de-aging and Luke Skywalker. Fuck out of here.
Why the hell are you gonna spend money?
Make him
to
Tar Vizsla. They never killed him.
Chris Lloyd when you can just bring in
That's
that
my
actual
prediction.
actor that played Fen Rao? Is not working right now. Clearly.
So he's supposed to be, according to the leaks, he's supposed to be a Mandalorian general,
Chieftain.
basically.
There you go.
Yeah.
Now, is he a Mandalorian, or is he?
Well,
a,
Yeah, he's whoever the armorer is following.
if Gar
Are you
Saxon
sure?
didn't die, I would have said
is
him.
that Gar
I'd
Saxon?
like that.
No, Gar Saxon's dead.
So something I wanted to say earlier.
Didn't he die?
I don't know if
Is he dead though?
Well, Gar-
He got
Okay.
shot. He got
Yeah.
shot in the armor,
Uh-huh.
but we've seen a lot of people get shot and not die.
They gotta stop bringing people back sometimes.
No one's ever really gone.
True. True.
I'm looking at you, Mace Windu. You know
I
you're
love Chief, man. He's just they gotta stop doing that.
Sometimes it's overplayed. Like there's definitely purpose to it, and I understand why they do it so much. But it's like when a dude has a significant death and gets shot in the back, just leave him dead. Like especially a butthole like Gar Saxon. Like get
Let's
out of
bring
here.
back Darth Maul a third time, the real ruler of Mandalore. Yeah.
Well, I mean, we've speculated for a long time the armor was like his right hand man. So if she's around, I don't know.
You don't know.
Could be hiding.
You don't know this green.
I mean, I have thought. Like,
What's her
fucking
name
everybody
again?
Calling a blacksmith around. So
Rookcast?
Rookcast.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's the
Rookcast.
theory.
Yeah, I always
is that
forget
the
it.
armor is Rookcast, who is one of
I love
the,
that.
I guess Gar Saxons, or was
Oh,
that Gar Saxon?
he's a Mandalorian.
Yeah,
He's a
She-
Mandalorian. Yeah.
They both
Yeah.
were. And
she got
shit,
the
man.
horns. I pointed that out.
Only
After I-
thing is the armor's actress looks significantly younger than Chris, and in the animation they both look around the same age.
But
so-
again, this goes back to the Bo-Katan conversation earlier. Katie had a really good explanation as to why Bo-Katan was the way she was, because during the Clone Wars, she was barely 20. She was
Yeah,
still
time
young
has
and
passed.
impulsive. And so the same thing goes for in Rebels. She's just a few years older. Rook and her potentially in their 20s. This is many, many years after. You know, I don't know. Not to mention aging somebody is infinitely easier than de-aging. A little bit of makeup, a little bit of prosthetics with some skin. That's, I mean, infinitely easier than de-aging Luke, right? I mean, way easier.
Look, I'm gonna look this guy up. Okay, I think
if John Favreau's smart and he wants some longevity with the show, I think it has to be a prominent name. I think we have to bring some weight to other houses. It can't just be.
we were talking about
out.
flashbacks earlier a little bit, and you guys wanted them to be purposeful and everything. What if he's like an old Mandalore or something in a flashback, or even Bo and Satine's father or something? You know what I
Is
mean?
that
Like,
Christopher?
yeah, Christopher Lloyd's character. Like, I think that would be kind of a cool thing for them to do with him. But I haven't looked too much into any of the leaks or anything. I did hear that he was supposed to be a Mandalorian chieftain. So maybe he's even like, like I said, a former Mandalore. And something I would love for them to do, if you guys are looking for more purposeful flashbacks or, stuff that develops the characters and stuff. I thought The Last of Us did certain flashbacks, like how they put them in the beginning of the show, giving us stuff that adds more context to kind of the things that are happening in the show or the characters. I thought that they did it masterfully, and to do something like that and translate it into The Mandalorian, where we have kind of a flashback of Tar Vizsla at some point, like I think that would be really cool.
The
stuff
lineage of the saber.
Yeah, or even just the Mandalorians in general.
Yeah,
I think that's why they'll go to Christopher Lloyd and these older chieftains, because they need to find somebody who knows the history and who's
That's
willing to
cool.
speak on it in front of all of the Mandalorians.
Fen
Not
Rao.
only that, but he has
you're
to.
right. It's Finn Rao.
It's
Yeah.
Finn Rao.
Yeah.
He has to unite the clans, right? And like Bo was saying, her crew is on all those stolen ships, basically being mercenaries right now. And like she said, all you got to do is turn the Darksaber on, and you got him. There's not a lot of argument that goes on once
Mhm.
that one, and it's funny because she's even sitting on her throne and she's like, just wave that dark saber around and they'll all fall. Like, she knows because she's been there, and she knows because that's why they left. They abandoned her because she didn't come back with the treasure. So now Din is going to meet all these factions. They're going to be like, why the hell should we follow you, kid? He pulls out the dark saber. It's over. It's game over. So all he's got to do
Billy
is,
tries to listen.
I think somebody's going to challenge him for it.
Oh yeah.
I think that could
Yeah.
happen too.
I think
It
that's
would
why I
be
was
so
asking
cool.
earlier about Mando on Mando crime tonight, because I genuinely think that tonight we're going to get a uniting of the clans, and then there's going to be a little bit of battles.
Do you think that all of them could see him with the Darksaber, or Bo-Katan could bring it up like, he has the Darksaber, we can go to Mandalore, like he can lead our people or whatever, and then that's when either, you know, someone's like, he's an apostate, and he'll be like, no, I bathed in the mines and whatever, and someone will try to challenge him or something.
That's going to happen. That's going to happen in the armorer's chambers.
I
That
can't
comes
wait. No, oh my god, we got to go back to the armor tonight. First thing.
That's the
he's gonna
first
be like,
thing that happens. So that's what I'm
bathed,
saying.
I bathed in the mines. Then she'll be like, "Did you?" And the Bo-Katan, he bathed with me.
All right, Santa. All right, Santa. Stop your wedding talk.
We bathed together.
The
yeah,
minds.
I do think that we are going to get. I do think that he needs proof, right? Because that's what she says. You'll need proof, and he's like, "I'll bring you proof," right? So,
got a witness.
so I got a witness, and I have ship data logs that show we were back.
I was
on
gonna say,
Mandalore.
have R5 like scan him like Leia did in A New Hope. You know what I mean? Like, have it just a video of Din Djarin jumping in the
I
water.
mean, we don't know if there's a camera in Grogu's pram that they could have seen him walk in. You know, we don't know what Creel built into that pram. We've only seen.
I want to bring it up real quick too. That we were talking about the logic of IG-11 or whatever fitting into Din's ship. How does the prim even fit into his ship? You know what I mean? Like, that doesn't make sense to me either. Where does the prim
Star
go?
Wars, dude. It's not supposed to make
Exactly.
it's not star science.
But I think we all have to take into account the next time we all see A New Hope, we see those fucking droids on that Jawa ship. R2 saves the galaxy. R5 is going to help Din reclaim Mandalore, and then
canon.
The drone.
No, yeah, it's canon that R2 convinced R5 to blow his motivator, and that's that's what they say in the was it From a Certain Point of View novel.
Some heavy nerdage right there.
That is funny. And
well,
then
R5 heard R2 saying, I can save the galaxy. I can save the galaxy.
I have to go with him.
I have to go with him. I have to save the galaxy. And look, I mean, R2 went through some shit, right? R2 saw the rise and fall of everything. He had a sideline seat to everything, right? The fact that R2 was Padme's gift to Anakin. Most people don't fucking know that. Padme gifted R2. That's why R2 goes with Anakin after they get married. Because Padme is like, this droid is my gift to you. He saved us from everything. This is my gift to you. No one ever puts that math together, right? There's little pieces of
3PO is Anakin's gift to her because he created 3PO.
Right. It's just people don't care about the stuff that wasn't on screen, right? When all these little pearls are in front of you, all this stuff is accessible to you. These are little pearls. So the fact that R2 was so, I mean, you got to think of it. Droid understand droid, right?
People only care about the pearls when they're necklace, bro.
That's it. They only care about them then. But that's why R2 is literally like screaming, right? He's like, I have to save the galaxy. I have to save the galaxy. And another droid hearing that is like,
I gotta put this bourbon down.
Let me pop my motivator, right? And then I'll never leave.
I didn't want to do shit anyway.
I don't want to work on a moisture farm anyway.
Facts.
He definitely didn't want to be on a ship. That's for sure. He was scared to death to get in that ship.
The droid disc one is gonna be revealed to be like he stopped. He's Thrawn's. Oh my god,
you're losing it. No,
I can't. I'm already there. Can't do it. Yo.
You guys are getting slappy. I love it. So what? Steve's doing a midnight. You're doing 11:30, right? 11:30, 1:30.
11:30 and like 1 probably is going to be the watch parties tonight. I'm probably doing a
gotta
preview for anybody that saw my update in the Discord earlier. I said like 7 or 8, maybe it's almost 8 already. PDT, so probably closer to 9 is when we're going to do our preview stream. 11:30 for the Mando watch party, at around 1 a.m. for the Bad Batch watch party.
You're gonna need more than that, dude.
You
You need more
stream
than
it.
that. It's an hour-long episode. This isn't 30 minutes. You better plan accordingly.
Well, then probably an hour and 1:30 then. 1:30 then.
1:30. Yeah. The East Coast is going to be waking up to your stream, just so you know.
True.
Crazy. Who else is doing anything? Anybody else? Are you guys all staying up tonight or what?
Hell yeah.
Don't die. I've been there. Did you drink too much?
No, I roll over in bed at 3 a.m. and pick my phone up for an hour, and then I go back to sleep.
I'll probably try to stay up, but we'll see how that goes. I haven't been very successful lately.
Good.
You dying? Sanka man, you dead?
Spit that out, but I feel like I died.
Oh, no. Help him, Hamlet.
Oh man.
Fucked up night.
Hey, that's how we do it. That's why we're here. Let's have some fun. All right, let's talk real quick about the giveaway. I haven't forgot about you guys. So just real quick, that's still happening. I have been working diligently to have a more secure and prosperous future. But no, we've been working on a more secure entry. We've been working on a way to make sure that everybody's entry actually counts and there's not multiple entries into the giveaway, like a couple of the last giveaways. We had some people that were trying to be funny and trying to be fun, and it ruins it for everybody. So now we got to do things the hard way. So for those of you that are still interested in the giveaway, we are still giving away the PS5. There's a whole bunch of other shit that we're going to give away. There's going to be a sheet, Google sheet, much like if you've ever been on any of these channel reviews, they have you do a Google sheet. So we'll have you do a Google sheet. We'll have you give a lot of information because I want to make sure that when we're giving away, $1,000 worth of stuff, that everybody's got a fair entry and that nobody's cheating. So, because I know everybody's shady. So that is still happening. We are going to do that probably, I don't know, soon. I want to give everybody enough chance to get an entry, so I don't want to do it like on stream. I am going to send out, the stream is going to be private, so it's not going to be for the public. So if you want to get in the drawing, if you want to get in the giveaway, go to the Discord. The link is on the channel. Go to the Discord, get in on the Discord. The Google Sheet will be there. Fill it out. Get your entry, because that will be the only place that we will list the drawing stream. If you're not hip to the Discord, if you're not part of the Discord, you won't be able to click the link. You won't be able to get in on it. And it's important that you guys do it right. So, because I want to give this PlayStation away so I can buy more stuff to give you guys. So with that being said, don't fret. We're still gonna get this thing going. I've just needed time to figure out how to make it fair, because I really want it to be fair for everybody. Aside from that, what else? Last calls? Anybody perfect time for beer emoji top down? Last call. What are we talking about?
Captain Crunch cereal.
Yes. I like that.
Final predictions? Anybody?
Sure. Final predictions before we get out of here.
I think Grogu's gonna use the Force on the Mythosaur, and I think Din and Bo are gonna try to think that they have to fight against it or be in self-defense. And I think just like when Grogu had to stop the Mudhorn or help Din stop the Mudhorn and put the Rancor to sleep, I think Star Wars is poetry. This is all Grogu's story kind of in the long run, and I think he is going to be the one to usher in a new age of Mandalore by taming the Mythosaur.
I think that tonight will be the unanimous, united front of all Mandalorians. We're all going to come together and show this galaxy who the fuck is really king. Okay, damn all our beef. We're going to come together. We're going to rock this shit the right way, the Mandalorian way. and we're going to start this off right by saving our children on Navarro, and then whatever adventures we get into after that. For Mandalore, let's go.
I think
The
tonight's
Mandalore.
episode of the Bad Batch will not include Crosshair.
Copy that. Scotty?
I'm down with that Grogu theory. I think it would be cool. My theory would be that he would pick up the dark saber, because Din is incapacitated and Bo will be, both exhausted from what going on. I'm not sure her suit's actually built to go that deep. Water pressure is a little different than space pressure.
Vacuum? Yeah.
Yeah, so I think it'd be dope if Grogu not just, held him off, but light that saber, hold the saber.
In that
Something.
baby hand?
Yep. Yeah, I did consider that.
I like the idea of using
maybe
the
it's a
force with it too, though.
broadsword. Maybe he's got.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, and I'm just saying, as far as like being able to light the cave, I think it would be such an iconic photo if he's just there holding it with one hand above him and they're on the ground lit below him, and you just see the face of the mythosaur looking down on him. I don't know. Something cool is going to happen, though. I think something cool in the cave is going to happen, not just it going a backdoor exit.
Yeah, I
Okay.
think there's still more to see.
Okay.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
I've been
Break
on
the
I've been on the Din Djarin, Bo-Katan craze theory for a long time. I've made merch on it. I think that this is not a unification of love. This is a unification of politics, and that Bo-Katan understands that she is not going to be the ruler of Mandalore again. Maybe not right now. And her best hope at this point is to stay close to the throne. So I'm a firm believer in this. This is what I believe. I
would love that if she turned 180 and was like, "Yes, I'm for Mandalore again. Let's reunite my people. Let's save my people."
I really believe that. Seen the mythosaur. I really look, like you said, not one line of script is wasted. And I feel like not one frame of this show is wasted. And that you don't show her seeing this without him seeing it and without Grogu seeing it, unless it is just for her character. And after the way that she jests when they walk in to the waters, and how let me give you the whole tour. Let me give you the dime tour. She's literally throwing stones in glass houses. She's literally talking shit about this. And then not even 2 minutes later, she is face to face with a mythosaur that is humongous. Right. So for me,
makes me laugh every time.
This is that was for Bo-Katan. And I think
I will say she's kind of sus, though. I could see her using it in the back pocket.
True, but I kind of feel like the jesting and the joking and the shit talking that she was doing before she saw the mythosaur was all important to show that, oh shit, this is real.
Absolute mind blown.
Yeah, I think really she came. If you see, like, you can't see her face, but if you look at her body language and the breathing that's going on when she comes out of there, she's terrified. Right? She's not like, oh, I'm exhausted. She's fucking terrified, because everything that she was told was true. It's all true. It's all true. Everything, the Force, everything is true, including the mythosaur. Right? So the fact that she's having a Han Solo moment, that's when Han Solo bought in. Han Solo bought in when he saw Kenobi, right? He bought in when he saw Luke destroy the Death Star, right? He bought in and everything was true. He saw Luke use the Force. He saw Luke rescue him. He saw Luke sacrifice himself, right? She's having that same moment here. Everything that they always told me wasn't true is true. Everybody thought this was a myth. Everybody thought this was bullshit. It was all for ceremony, all for show, for the people. But really, this is what's going to change her, because she realizes everything was real. It's all true. And that this could potentially lead her to following Din. Maybe he is the rightful ruler, right? And if he ends up riding the mythosaur, that just solidifies it, right? So there's a lot. There's a lot here. I am really excited for. I was blown away last week. Last week to me had the finale feel to it. It was so masterfully done. This I literally I cannot wait for this episode because I feel
Yes,
like
more of that, please.
seriously, that last week had the finale feel, man. The mythosaur, and then as soon as she's out of the water, cut black end screen credits. Like, what the shit? That's where you're gonna leave me?
Mm-hmm.
We're not even gonna see a ripple in the waves. We're just done. You see that big ass thing move, right? You saw him start to swim away. You don't see a single wave.
You start off seeing the eye, then the full body reveal.
And that's dude. It would honestly, I think that changes everything for her. She has that come to grips moment where she's like, damn, everything they said was true, or everything they said wasn't true was true. My parents said this was bullshit. It's just ceremony. Just
Also,
accepting, you know?
If you go back and watch that scene with Din about to bathe in, it's like you can see just it's all amazing fucking actress Katie Sackhoff is. Her Bo's body language, bro. She's like,
what are
okay.
you doing? She
Right.
literally says, what are you doing? He's
Fact.
taking off his jetpack. He's taking off the saber. He's taking off all the weapons. And he walks in like he's going to walk on water.
Right. And that ass sinks to the bottom of the flow.
And then he sinks.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, and then you see his body language. Number one, he is literally in awe of where he is at this moment. He's literally like, I can't believe I'm at the living waters. And he is so overcome with emotions. The fact that he can fix what he fucked up.
I like how respectful he was to her father too.
Yeah, I think that might be the one saving grace I have right now with like thinking that Bo-Katan might stab Din in the back is the fact the two have had a lot of respect for each other. She's already saved him twice, whether if it was in season 2 when she saved him and Grogu the first time they met, or now like, you know, saving him a couple of times in this episode. Like, there's respect there. And, you know, when as soon as he heard that her father died trying to save Mandalore or for Mandalore, it was nothing but respect between the two of them. And even now, like, he's kind of making a believer of her. So hopefully Bo continues to kind of be more of that believer and doesn't, you know, stab him in the back at the end of the season. But
no, that's what's going to make the stabbing even more painful.
Yeah, I agree.
right.
That's what makes it more impactful.
Yep.
Is that? I mean, look, from the first time when they raided that ship on Moncala, right? From that point on, you saw them pinned down. They had to get to the cockpit, right? They had to move forward. And Din's like, cool, I'm gonna rush this thing and throw a grenade. Even in that moment, Bo's like, this dude's a hell of a soldier. Like, this dude could have been one of us in the day, right? Like, the respect is automatic for both of them, right? Especially once he sees Bo-Katan's a badass. She walks into the ship with nobody. She walks straight into the door without any backup, and she's like, pow, pow, drop, kick, right? Like, he's like, dude, she can fight. So I think there's a lot of respect between the two, and I think even more
All
so,
he's hearing in his head is, let's get it on.
even after the giving the Darksaber back, right? Because that for me, that was the key to this episode, is she could have taken that Darksaber and been like, mine. And then they could have had a fight about it and whatever, but she literally gave it back because she knows she can't take it. It's not rightfully hers. Like, there's so much in this episode for me that was amazing. It had that finale feel to it. I want them to continue that. Give me that finale feel for 8 episodes. 6 more.
I don't even think they played it off like she can't take it because she's not winning it. It was more like respect, like, yo, this is yours.
Well,
Yeah.
That's another thing too, man. Everyone thought that, or at least I thought for sure, that we were going to spend the entire season bullshitting around until we get to Mandalore. Bitch, we're on Mandalore right now. So it's like, what else are we going to watch, bro?
But,
like,
yeah, I mean, they're giving it to us straight from the gate, right? Boom, we're with the covert. We're watching a youngling, a foundling, become part of the cult, right? We're watching the indoctrination of a youngling from Jump Street.
Come on.
Then in episode 2, we're at her castle. We're on her planet. Boom, we're on Mandalore.
Mm-hmm.
Right, and then boom, the next minute she's on Mandalore, right? So every single thing has been fire, 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 fire. It's all had that finale feel. I need that the rest of the season. I need that to shut up the negative Nancy's that we find in the space, right? I'm tired of the negativity. I'm tired of the hate. I'm tired of the shitting on. Give me 8 episodes of fire to shut these guys up. Give them something to be happy about for a change. Maybe put a smile on their face. Because all I see in the space is,
He got bad numbers. It's not my Star Wars. Shut the fuck up.
Tell him.
so
Talk
that's
your
how I
shit,
feel.
homie.
Sorry to get vulgar.
You go darker.
Problems.
He wants you to go darker, bro.
Oh,
Yeah, bro.
Problems.
Knew it.
All right.
It's good.
Let's break it out. Everybody, thank you for coming. As always, the squad is together. We were just missing Matt, but not everybody can hang out every night, so I get it. Not to mention he's probably at Hogwarts. I'm not gonna lie, that shit's addictive.
He's got sucked in.
He's at Hogwarts, dude.
Matt's doing just fine. I seen him on a coffee stream last night. That brother is all right.
Oh, did he go on coffees last night?
Yeah.
Okay, I must have been asleep. Cool, boys. Well, I appreciate you coming. Everybody, get over to these guys' channels. Subscribe to everybody that's here. Make sure to watch all their stuff, even if it's in the background. Help everybody out. And yeah, I feel like tonight was fun. Have yourselves a good night. Enjoy. And as always, thank you to Opus for giving us this platform for all of you to have fun. This is more for you than me. I'm not going to lie, between us girls. But yeah, I want you guys to feel interactive. I want you guys to enjoy what we're doing here. So thank you as always for coming. As always, don't forget, spade and neuter your pets. Help control the pet population. And we love you. Thank you very much for being here. May the force be with you guys. Have a great night. Enjoy the show. And we look forward to talking to you later.